on the side of your neck. Maybe it's the booze talking. You distinctly hear your voice asking if she'd like to crash at your place. "I've got a better idea," she says. At this point, you're down for anything as long as it lets you spend just a few more minutes with her. She takes you to a sleazy motel in the Bronx, trading a few words with the balding, tired-looking guy at the front desk. He hands her a key. Still holding your hand, the woman leads you up the stairs. Oh. The room you end up in is almost comically stereotypical, complete with flaking paint and a sticky floor. Not that it matters, though. The moment you step through the door, she's on you. I think your print cam is fucking your connection. I keep getting errors saying your stream has ended, and then hitting refresh brings it back. Let me turn off the print cam then. Yeah, let me turn off the print cam in case that's the issue. It's worked in the past, but it could be fucking with me. Let me find that. There we go. That should free up a little bit of bandwidth for everything. You try to take the lead, but she's having none of it. Before you know it, you feel the rickety bed pressing against your back. It's sloppy, fun, fierce, and not once does she lose the initiative. Your hands reach under her t-shirt. Strange. It didn't look like she was cold outside, but now skin feels eerily cool. As if sensing your confusion, she slaps your hands off her. She kisses your neck. You are overwhelmed by the sensation. Darkness. The taste of liquid fire and smoke on your tongue. Her voice saying, "Sorry, kid. I did what I had to do to leave this city in one piece. Don't worry. With my blood and your principles, you're gonna do just fine." She slams the motel room door as she leaves. You lie helplessly on the soiled, pungent mattress for some time. Minutes? Hours? Before you can focus enough to try and piece together your evening, it hits you. The big hunger. It grips you by the throat and makes your insides shrivel in terror. It's an all-encompassing emptiness that throws you on all fours. You crawl for a while, squirm on the floor in sundering pain, then jump to your feet and bust out the door. You black out. This isn't the room you last saw when you closed your eyes. Somebody curses at you. A small, naked, buff dude holding a short leather whip. Am I back at the club? Wow, what a goofy motherfucker. He throws a punch. He yells out several slurs. "Excuse you? What are you slurring at me for? Fuck you." He hits you in the jaw. You black out again. The guy isn't moving anymore. The beast has taken over. There's blood on his neck. There's blood on his arms. There's blood on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Wow. Whoever did this is one sick puppy. I don't think you want to call yourself a sick puppy. You realize you're sitting on top of his corpse. You hear a whimper. Someone else is there. A woman. Her arms are tied to the bed frame, an eye mask over her face, red marks on her back. Oh. Whoopsie. This time, you see it happen. You want to stop, but can't. She almost manages to get a scream out, but it dies in her throat as you bite into the side of her neck. You drink. Blood. You're drinking blood. You could swear you feel her life force escaping her body, entering yours. Suddenly terrified, you tear away from her. She's not moving. She is breathing. Barely a mark on her neck. The guy on the floor, though. Oh. That's graphic. Hell yeah. You double over in a spasm, realizing what you did. You feel like throwing up. You can only gag. Panic sets in as another realization dawns on you. Your heart is not beating. You put 2 fingers to your wrist. Feel no pulse. Same thing on the neck. Nothing. There is no breath coming out of your mouth. You have to get out. Get someone to call an ambulance. Yourself, at least. Probably too late for the dude on the floor. Did you really kill him? Oh, hi! Oh, man, I wish I could grow facial hair. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What a mess. You look up. The door to the room is ajar. No, it's a door. A tall, handsome, broad-shouldered man fills the entire frame. He brushes an imaginary speck of dirt off his well-tailored suit. Call 911! Out of the way! This isn't what it looks like! You know, given his condescending nature, I'm assuming call 911 will only be met with laughter. Probably same with out of the way. Let's go with... Oh, hold on, the little pips next to the choices are the moon. Cute. This is not what it looks like. That's good to hear. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're in a world of trouble. He surveys the room, not moving an inch from where he's standing. He shakes his head in concern. Murder, assault, that's 25 to life if you're lucky. Since you're not, it's a death sentence. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Lucky for you, it's been a slow night. Otherwise, I might not have gotten here in time. Come on. The sun comes up in a few hours. You don't want to be around here when it does. The sun? I need a doctor. Fuck you, I'm not going anywhere! I've already acknowledged that I'm not breathing and have no pulse. And fuck you, I'm not going anywhere. Well, a reasonable response is, I'm in a room covered in blood. The cops will probably just show up and shoot me. Oh. The sun? When's it fucking matter when the sun comes up? Oh, so you don't even know. You should be glad I got here before you made yourself scarce. The man approaches you and starts talking. His tone remains unnaturally calm. Oddly enough, I find it both soothing and slightly unnerving. Now, listen to me. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. Going by experience, they tend to fall into 2 categories. First, there are the smart ones who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull off anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be. Safe, sound. And then there are the dumb ones. Oh, he's been practicing this. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody, secretly, without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off, make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. choice. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. Oh. Okay. It's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. Ozzy, thank you for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs. Thank you for coming by. You get to listen to me voice someone who looks like me with facial hair. You look adorable, Daddy. Hey, thank you. I mean, I got this from you. It's great. Ah. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of a theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes, and you're out. Say, I understand, sir. Now. That's my line, motherfucker. You've never been too eager to bend the knee to anyone. But this is something else. The man's very presence instills a primal fear in your heart. I understand, sir. Fuck you, sir. What are you talking about? No. Fuck you, sir. Strike 1. And watch the language, whelp. Moving on. Is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're all right? He flashes his fangs briefly. For some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you. Yeah, nah. May as well be at least a little truthful with the asshole. Jessica, my ex-girlfriend. She kinda hates my guts, but yeah, I suppose it'd be her. The stranger gives you a puzzled look and decides to prod further. The closest person in your life hates your guts. This time, something resembling a look of pity. He turns his eyes to the corpse on the floor. When it rains, it pours, I suppose. Well, if you'd like to ruin her day and let her know you're alright, give me her phone number, and I'll have someone take care of it. Discreetly, of course. Did he just revoke the strike 1 out of pity? I mean, he may have. You hand him your smartphone so he can copy the number from your list of contacts. Don't do that! Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man puts it in his pocket. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under. you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you are still alive. You are forbidden from showing your place anywhere they know you. And if anyone comes looking for you, it is over for both you and them. He interrupts his monotone recitation and stares deep into your eyes. So unless you want your girlfriend to end up at the bottom of the Hudson, I suggest you cooperate. He proudly displays his fangs again. You've put deaths in danger. Damn it. Will his name be Christian Grey? You know, maybe. This guy's a little too hot to be Christian Grey, though. You are forbidden from eating Burger King. I don't actually think vampires can eat human food in VCM, so no. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. His words are meant to imply otherwise, but by now it's obvious. He hates your guts as much as you hate his. He is itching for a fight. You're almost willing to oblige. Alright, I think that is enough lecturing for today. We're on a bit of a schedule here. Now, I don't need to hurt you, but I can do so in the blink of an eye. Just so that we're clear, I have the authority to end you right here, right now. This is not an idle threat. So, are you going to play along, or are we going to have to do this the hard way? I think this might be the sheriff? Because the prints themselves wouldn't show up for this, but this is definitely something related to, like, the prince's council. So I think I'm gonna have to follow this asshole. You weigh your chances, but it doesn't look promising. The guy's fit, determined, and looks like he means business. You, on the other hand, confused, exhausted, and on the verge of a panic attack. Yeah, fine. I'll go with you. Oh, hey, Shine too. He almost looks disappointed. A wise decision. Follow me, please. And close the door behind you. You take one final look at the woman who is just coming to. Body on the ground. This is fucked. Absolutely fucked. You pull the handle and close the door. The man leads you downstairs. You contemplate signaling the bald guy at the front desk, but he's too busy watching some 90s action flick on a small, ancient-looking TV. He seems totally oblivious to your presence. You hear a dejected Jean-Claude Van Damme say, "I just want to go home," as you're walking by. The muscles from Brussels just wants to go home. Oh, fuck. Hold on. Shit. It's not Time Cop. Is it Most Dangerous Game? JCVD, I just want to go. What is he watching? What is that one from? Is it Street Fighter? Is he fucking watching Street Fighter? Okay. Your would-be kidnapper stops by the door and addresses you before opening it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, As soon as he opens the door, I'm making a run for it. Maybe I can outrun him. I'll save you the trouble. You can't. You can either get inside my car, and I'll get you to where you need to be, or you can try something stupid that you'll regret later. Do I make myself clear? Clear as day. Asshole. Day. Huh. He opens the door and gestures to a black Cadillac Escalade parked right outside the building. After you. Alright. Following the stranger's instructions, you make your way to the car and get in the back seat. The door locks behind you. Because he has child locks. Inside, the Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. It's got that illegal tint going on, hell yeah. The man gets in the driver's seat, starts the engine, drives away without another word. You think it might be Universal... Was that Universal Soldier? Okay. Yeah, I tried to Google search. It did me no good. So, if you think it's Universal Soldier, that's what I'm gonna go with. Who the fuck are you, man? I'm the ferryman, here to take you to the other side. Ah, yes, and I'm here to introduce you to the concept of fetters and remove the shroud from your eyes. No, this is the wrong World of Darkness franchise for that. He weighs his next words carefully. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not in the mood to wax poetic about the state you're in or my role in tonight's events. Just remember, if you want to survive the next 24 hours, you'll have to play along. His eyes aren't shining in the mirror, but they are when looking at him. This is a nightmare, man. This is a fucking nightmare. The stranger smirks. How is he seen in a mirror? So, the not being seen in a mirror is for Vampire the Masquerade, I think only applies to Nosferatu specifically. I'm gonna double check that one. BTM reflections. Most Kindred have reflections. La Sombra can't. La Sombra are the ones that can't be seen in reflections. Okay. Understand that this is for your own good. Times being what they are, you should consider yourself lucky. You drive in silence for about 20 more minutes. As exhaustion catches up with you, streetlights fade, blur. Eventually, the car stops and the doors open. You emerge from your dreamlike state and find yourself in some kind of underground parking garage. You two are the only ones here. The man points to a nearby door. Go on in. Make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow. You'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room. No windows. A simple bed. A single light bulb. Ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. Guess I have to trust you, don't I? It took you this long to figure out. Remember when I said you were lucky? I meant it. See, my job is to get rid of problems, but I'm not always this polite about it. This time, I was specifically told mind my manners. Might not be the sheriff then. Sheriffs usually are very chill about things unless instructed otherwise. He might be a scourge. But scourges, if he was a scourge, he would have just killed me then and there. So he's probably the sheriff. Just a bit of a dick. So believe me when I tell you, considering how this night could have turned out, being stuck in here for a night is a really good deal. Now get in, or I'll throw you. Now walk on in. You step inside. The stranger nods. Good night. Normally they say good evening. Alright. He closes the door behind you. It looks sturdy, but as he's locking it, you notice claw marks all over. Looks like some previous guests weren't satisfied with their stay. You decide not to dwell on it and check the fridge. There's a single plastic bag in there, filled with red liquid. No label. Tomato soup? Ah, yes. I always keep a bag of tomato soup in my refrigerator. You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. You can't help but think it looks exactly like the one back at the hotel with the bound woman. I don't think it... Now, that would be funny if he actually, like, while he was escorting you, had someone take the bed just to fuck with you. The bed of a woman that you probably killed. I mean, she was coming to, but they had to get rid of her. They had to off her. Otherwise, it would be a masquerade violation. And they don't want that. So, that would be a really funny way to fuck with someone. Oh, right. You killed a man tonight. Or did you? Maybe none of this is real. Maybe all of it's an elaborate prank. The girl at the club. Jess might have put her up to it. The tall guy's clearly in on it too. Now he's back with them, and they're all laughing their asses off. Dude, you really must not think highly of your ex if you think she's pulling this kind of shit on you. You don't know what to think anymore. Your mind races, but you're too tired to keep it going. Finally, you tense up one last time, before drifting away to oblivion. I mean, he did say he was the ferryman, so this being oblivion, you wake up. That itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't quite feel like sleep. More like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch. It's almost 9 p.m. You've slept for 17 hours straight. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone. You feel no thumping in your chest. Does that qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that. But you are certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, throat, back of the head. You open the fridge. The bag is still there. You take a closer look at it. If it is soup, its color, texture are off. You pull the cork out. Take a whiff. You recognize the smell. It is Grandma's homemade tomato soup. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint, And you remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating. But now it's almost... No, not almost. Is enticing. I drink the blood from the middle of the bag. It feels wrong, but right now there's barely anything in your life that doesn't. To hell with it. You pour a bit of liquid into your mouth. Tastes bland. Reminds you of your cheap supermarket juice. Just enough flavor to register as what it claims to be on the box, but nothing like the real thing. Nothing like what you had the last time. Swallow it. Somehow you don't feel sick. In a weird, messed up way, you can't help but think it feels nourishing. You take a few more sips, and then just another one. Suck on the bag just a little more. That's what I told Sean last night. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be here all week. Oh, I make myself laugh. I'm probably the only one I make laugh, but that's okay. How's Sean's gonorrhea? It's almost gone, Maria. He's doing a lot better. He almost went into the office today, but he decided against it, which was a wise decision. Alright, let's see. Empiric Capri Sun. That's really all blood bags are, yeah. Aw, he can make smart decisions. He did make a smart decision by not streaming today. Eventually, you find that you've emptied it entirely. Look at the info pressed into the side of the bag. 450 milliliters of it. Even with its blandness, you still feel like having more. You realize your body longs for that intoxicating high you felt when an image of the corpse crosses your mind, causing you to wince. What have you become? You try to piece your thoughts together, make sense of it all. Hear the lock click, see the door open. Standing there is the well-dressed stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again. That predatory look. Like a hawk on a hunt. But somehow more relaxed night. So, like a tamed hawk, maybe? Keep him away from RFK. Good evening. Slept well? He notices the discarded, emptied bag. I see you had a bit of a snack. I did. Got any more? No. Don't expect sustenance to be easy to find the next time. On. We've got places to be. The car is humming in the empty parking lot just outside the door of the cramped room you've spent the day in. Man motions to it politely, with a stern look on his face. Rush him, get inside the car, or hijack the car. I'm gonna play along for now. I'm trusting you here, man. I'm touched. Sincerely. You take the back seat again. Doors lock. The stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. Time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets or landmarks through the blackened windows. It's of little use. The car is also soundproofed. All you hear is a bit of traffic humming in the car's engine. The driver doesn't say anything. Seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door's locked all right. The piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks sturdy, too. There's nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think about it before, but you realize now that you're hungry? No. Not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen, spreads to your chest, throat, back of the head. You'd try to extract some information out of the man behind the wheel, but you realize you'd prefer to bask in the afterglow of your last meal. You wouldn't have expected it. You spend the rest of the trip lost in your thoughts. A lot of them concerning blood. It takes you another 20 minutes or so to get to your destination. As the door opens, you try to get your bearings. You're still in New York. That much is certain. Queens, maybe. After me. No sudden movements, please. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a 2-story gallery called the Art Hole. I'll show you an art hole. 2 large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full. It was unusual at this hour, to say the least. About 24 faces fill the showroom. A number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed for the most part. It's unclear what they've gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You see open contempt on a few faces and animated interest on others. Most of the eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. The last time you felt like this was at your previous job interview. It was like being a piece of livestock, inspected from all sides for any imperfection, so your wage could be haggled down. It was dehumanizing and made you feel dirty. Woohoo. When they called you the next day to offer you the job, you declined. Even when you're a nobody, you become even less if you trade away your dignity for a paycheck. Fair? The memory makes you feel warm inside, even now. Although the state of your bank account never did. Good evening, Kadir. And to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back to the situation at hand. Gallery. Crowd of strangers. You being brought here against your will. What purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, Miss. You are addressing the Prince of New York City, Helena Pennard, child of Michaela. Thank you, my sheriff, but I am capable of introducing myself. I am Forhetus Maximus. Hello, Mazzy. Welcome, welcome. She is somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince, child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur. Agreement, maybe? Can be heard from the gathered audience. But I am willing to listen to what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. Hopefully I'm not missing. Hopefully I'm not too late. No, you're not. I'm still gonna be playing for at least an hour or so, and you just missed an introduction to me with facial hair. The character I'm playing as is just apparently kind of a douche, and a vampiric sex scene. And also, I killed the guy. I don't understand. What? What are you saying? I think it shall all become clear momentarily. You were pushed headfirst into a world you have not realized the existence of. But before you can partake in it, there needs to be a trial. You are about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found this fledgling, and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society make-believe? A trusted informant who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off about a suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. The hunger made him savage a prostitute and his client in a Brock's brothel belonging to one of the ministry. Ministry, not the band. Ministry. Capital M. Followers of Set, I think. I have already spoken. Sansarik. Okay, yes, definitely followers of Set with a name like Sansarik. About this, and made sure it'll blow over. The fledgling proved to have quite the nerve and an unruly tongue. Surprisingly enough, he offered little resistance last night and cooperated on our way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force his compliance. We had a quick chat, but, wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged him to join me, which he did without a struggle. Again, a pleasant departure from my usual routine. His thirst partially saked with the bagged blood we kept in the safe house, we had a pleasant enough drive here. The story ends with us arriving at Elysium tonight. We are at an Elysium, okay. This is indeed the court of New York City. All eyes are on you. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman with curly, blood-red hair and a dress to match. A curly dress? Interesting. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent-minded look on his face. Who is she? I wonder. Obviously an anime protagonist. Thank you, Kadir. I'll take note of this fledgling's behavior and will take it into consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is the matter of your sire, the person who brought you where Kadir picked you up from last night. Who are they? Does it matter, or sire? Let's go with sire. Let me ask you this first. Why do you keep using that word, sire? What does it mean? Under regular circumstances, they would be your patron and the one responsible for your introduction into our society. Things being what they are, however, I would very much like to know who they are. Indulge me. You find it impossible to decline her final request. Something in her voice makes you want to please her. You feel yourself speak. Latina woman, very radical, unless she convincingly lied to me. She was special, extraordinary. She had fire, conviction, temper. She seduced me, easily in fact. Made me feel like she wanted me. Fell for it. Now I'm here. You stop yourself from saying more, and then realize there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought is your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease? Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not. Or at least, not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. Can I go? No, I know what's gonna happen. Let's... Hey, if they kill the sire, maybe I'll be fine. Let's see... A chick, she rented our room at the motel. Talked to the receptionist. He might know something about her. Unlikely, but regardless, thank you for that observation. I will investigate this later. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Kadir, to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He seems strangely relieved. The prince leaves the main showroom. A handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir what all that talk of traditions and councils was when the red-headed woman approaches you. Sophie? Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. What for? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stain your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. I'll go get my sword. He steps out of the room the way you came. You were left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. What was that about a sword? Your hearing isn't faulty. We only have a short while before the prince hears her counsel out and Kadir returns here with his blade. So please, listen. Last night, you became a vampire. Wait, what? Oh, yes. I am well aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason we have these nice words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire. Fact remains, the beings called vampires, we're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. The guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale. Really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness. Not the right color either. No, it's blood. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night. There's no denying it. Your breathing has not returned. Your heart remains Remain still. Vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. Inside you, there are two wolves. One of them sounds like me. The other one is Mothman. One of them slowly begins to pull... Ozzy, would you please? One of them slowly begins to put everything together that happened since yesterday, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. Thank you, Ozzy. The other voice just keeps saying, what the fuck, 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 on repeat. You're surprised. This is often how it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. We do nothing, you'll be cut down as sure as day follows night. But I am here to offer you a chance. A way out. Under one condition. I will take you under my wing. If you're lucky, the prince will be in a good mood tonight. Your deference to Kadir will work in your favor. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I am not making this offer lightly. As your patron, take responsibility for it. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, we'll make sure you face the consequences. So you'll make me your servant. Exchange for my life. That's the fucking deal. If you insist on putting it in such pedestrian terms, yes, that is the deal, as you so eloquently put it. The alternative is, I fear, final death and Kadir. Here. Night. Dylan, what are you drinking tonight? Remington or Sean Blood, or just some good old H2O? This is just water. For now. When I finish this, I might refill with something else. We'll see. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her council are returning to the showroom. Kadir appears downstairs as well. Starts walking towards you. Oh, one moment, my hair is getting all in my face. Ugh. When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. Remember my condition. She flashes a hard-melting smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scabbard, fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. Oh, please tell me it has like one of those big fucking metal, like the gold super innate things that the Sikh have. Oh, that'd be fucking awesome. It would look vaguely ridiculous if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating first and foremost. Kadir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes center stage again. Loyal kindred of the New York City Camarilla, gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. Hello, Pseudo. Welcome. What's happening? I have just become a vampire, and they have decided that since my maker did not ask permission, I may or may not be killed, so we're gonna find out. She briefly addresses you. I want you to know that this was not an easy decision to make. For your part, you have not done anything to earn our ire. I do feel a genuine sorrow for what must be done. We are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. There is no place for tolerating dissent. Our very existence is under constant threat. Although I may acknowledge some of my council's divergent opinions on this. So you may or may not be dead. Oh, there's dead and then there's really dead. Is that a red dwarf bit? I think that's a red dwarf bit. Because there's the princess. There's the princess's bride, of course, but if I remember correctly, red dwarf has a specific bit on the holograms and death, but it doesn't matter. She takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before. Rather plainly dressed, shy-looking man whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in deference. I hold final authority over this fledgling's fate. I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny that must be punished. The sentence is final death. These are resolved presently. Kadir? You hear a scraping sound and see that the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. Oh, really? Curved, huh? It is a beautifully detailed blade, which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, and it quickly vanishes to give way to grim determination. He's out to bat. You will not get another chance to speak up. I kinda have to ask for mercy, don't I? That is what the redhead... Ozzy, please, thank you very much. So I do need to ask for mercy on this, I believe. You make your choice. I'm not going down like this, damn it. Spare me!
Prince, if I may ask you to stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer.
Kadir looks at the prince, awaiting her response. The sword is still hanging above you, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley?
Yes, if I may.
At first, the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood in the room. I am going to be right back while I refill my water. Because I like to leave y'all on a cliffhanger. I've returned. I have more water, as well as a glass of absinthe. It's only fitting. At first, the moon in the room. The bored elites suddenly look at you with aroused interest. Some of them are dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. I'm curious, something the last time you were here on Twitch, you were Nosferatu, what happened with that? I'm not going to see that majestic dance again. I had trouble getting the game to launch because I had to fix some mods because some characters weren't spawning in and some quests were just broken. So I am going to do what I need to do is I need to reinstall and then rerun the game to that point with all of the mods installed from scratch. But I was only in Act 2, so it's not that bad. I do still need to kind of just work my ass off to get to that point. So the next time I stream, I'll probably be doing that, or I might wrap this up. I have no idea how long this is.
Well, let's hear it.
Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes are on her now. But Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of the distraction.
My prince, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper context should be observed in addition to the letter of our laws. This fledgling is a burden, but with proper guidance, they could become an asset to our domain. Am I to understand that you are volunteering to take this sireless child under your protection? Yes, I happen to think they might hold a potential that would be unfortunate to waste. I do expect their full cooperation, of course.
Whispers can be heard again. An incredulous voice or two. A hushed, just behead the fucker. Some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Silence. I ask all of you to make a note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but another will have to be reinforced even more firmly in its stead. Until thy progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's a responsibility you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this fledgling and add a valuable ally to our sect in the time of need, yes. But I would like to receive the right of destruction over them. Pleases you? I mean, breadheads do tend to destroy me, so that tracks. Alright. This is probably a situation in which I should shut the fuck up. It's clear tensions are high. It feels surreal to listen to strangers discussing your death. Or second death, apparently. Keeping silent. You decide it's for the best to let Sophie handle this alone and not interject. You have no idea how to handle this eyes wide shut crowd. I'm a little sad I won't see that dance, but I understand. Cries in Spanish. Oh god, one of my favorite fucking subtitles. The prince looks at you as if weighing your worth. She takes another good measure of the room before she speaks again. I shall grant what you ask. Let it be known. Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose. Oh, is she supposed to be Irish? I mean, she's...
Should I give her a bit of an accent while putting on the femme voice? I don't think that's going to work well. They shall be considered like sire and child. Miss Langley will take full responsibility of them, and I grant her the right of destruction if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of the most important traditions on this occasion, I expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Substantially so. I hope you find this verdict satisfactory, Slang.
Oh, highty-tighty, Prince. Of course, thank you.
Irish people everywhere started collectively crying. Yeah, Sean is screaming in the background.
I beg your pardon?
This woman, her name is Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose, which I just learned, so I decided when putting on a femme voice for her, I'm going to give her an accent.
Ah, fair enough.
So there's the giddy kind of femme voice that I gave her, but now it has a really shitty accent to it.
Santa's extra.
Yes, he loves taking care of people who are sick.
Oh.
You are more than welcome to join the Discord call or just chill and chat if you like. But hope you enjoyed your nap. Do not call my son hot!
As in the temperature.
You're one to talk. Yeah, no, my cat is really fucking warm. And also, it is fucking 80 degrees outside in the fucking mountains of Utah in October. Crook your legs or on top of your chest, depending on how you lay. Yep. She turns to you. What is your name, child? Dylan, Prince. If I knew my character was gonna be saying his name, I would have gone with a better name than fucking Dylan. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Dylan. Now, this evening proved to be more eventful than I anticipated, but with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Dear, a moment of your time before I let you return to your duties. Of course, Prince. He shoots you a side glance that doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be judged, will be watched, and if need be, will be punished. 2 of them leave the gallery.
Well, Dylan, I think we've both already managed to significantly improve each other's evenings. But let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? I think we should have to toast to a new fruitful partnership.
She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierges who have now reappeared in the showroom to refill the guests' glasses. The conventionally handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. He pours it into 2 tall glasses. It's blood, again. That much is clear. You're in 2 minds about drinking it, but the memory of last night's hunger makes you wince. You take a tentative sip. You expected the same blandness you tasted a few hours ago, but this one can actually savor. It's smoky, warm, making you think of a cozy cabin. So it's bourbon and not blood. It does strike you as a strange image for your mind to jump to when drinking human blood, but it's what it's. You've never tasted anything like it.
Do you quite like it? I think New York City caterers have very bourgeoisie ideas of what good blood should taste like. Apologies, you must have so many questions. While we're on the topic, perhaps we should start with those related to sustenance.
How much blood must I drink? I feel this constant hunger.
sad reality is, it will never go away. No matter how much you drink, you will always be tempted to have more. As you consume someone wholly, to the last drop, paying for the temporary relief with their life. That is a one-way road to losing your humanity. You start by taking a single sip from a vessel. Be prudent. Hot, fresh blood will be more satiating than anything they serve in a fancy glass. But it can make you a bit more voracious. As to how much you should have, it depends. If you're frugal, you can survive many nights without a single drink. But it's risky. It will tempt the beast that is part of our curse. Tomorrow I shall take you hunting and we shall explore this topic further. The blood you're having tonight should be enough to keep you happy for now.
I would never stay in a cabin. I've never actually stayed in a proper cabin. I've gone camping so many times. Most of the time, it's just in a tent. And oh god, camping out just on the shore of Hebgen Lake in, I want to say it was like late May. There's still frost. The lake was crystal clear. It was cold in the morning. Oh. What do you mean by hunting? As in rifles, hounds, and funny hats?
Nothing of the sort. Don't be silly. We're predators, but we're civilized. Most importantly, there is the masquerade to consider. Get back to that. A hunt may take many forms. There are those of us who seduce kine, up to and including the motions of intercourse if you feel like it. Others prefer to feed under the guise of a mugging or assault. Some have herds of retainers for the purpose of feeding. Drinking from sleepers in their homes is not uncommon. Blood banks are an option for the few that can tolerate it, though they are frowned upon. You will need to identify these opportunities and decide for yourself whether to pursue them. But make no mistake, you will have to hunt to survive.
The concierge returns and asks for permission to intrude. Sophie gives it with a polite smile and leans in to whisper into her ear. You note that the gallery is now almost empty.
I'm being told that the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come, my jalopy.
The smile she puts on makes you remember the way you felt with the Latina. It's not arousing, though. More like magnetic. I find it hard to argue. Even though you're still suspicious of her authority over you, her charm momentarily wins you over. Sophie leads you to a luxurious silver Rolls Royce and invites you to sit in the back. The chauffeur, a broad-shouldered, clean-shaven, middle-aged guy, is driving him.
Where did we leave off? I believe I started telling you a bit more about our customs. You've heard the prince refer to our traditions. Chief among them is the masquerade.
The masquerade. Glad you came.
As you might have gathered from us assembling at a niche gallery at closing time, our comings, goings, and doings tend to be somewhat secretive. We do not advertise our existence. We allow myths and modern fiction to morph and muddle the facts. So to the vast majority of bedtime stories and pop culture icons. Say, is that one television show about a vampire angel still popular?
Do you mean Angel? The show about a vampire named Angel who ended up being on Warehouse 13? You shake your head in confusion. In confusion? How did I get that and you don't? Fuck you, motherfucker. Fucking poser-ass goth. Fuck you. She shrugs and continues talking, looking a little bit more dejected than before.
Our clandestine ways help us remain safe. allow us to explain away the occasional trip up to the rational minds of the 21st century humanity and dictate much of our interactions with mortals.
For a moment, I thought you said Uber Rolls Royce. In Uber Rolls Royce, it would be a Panzerkampfwagen. It would have the German national flag painted on the side, and when you hop in, the driver will go, "Where to?" I'm sorry for that. I apologize deeply. I'm gonna do it again. What's the worst that could happen if you're a vampire? I'm sure you can defeat any threat that comes your way.
It would surely make things easier if we could. Unfortunately for us, there are plenty of things that harm us. Chief among them are sunlight and fire. Both will burn you to ash.
I accept the German accent over the Irish one. The Irish one's probably a little bit better if I'm not also trying to fem it up, but it's gonna be terrible, and that's what you're stuck with.
That's why we rest during the day. You felt it, I'm sure, that it's more like being dead than dormant. But we have no choice. We are night dwellers, but day sleepers. Some more folk-related threats are just legends or occasionally a minor nuisance. Garlic, running water, even religious symbols don't repel us, lest the wielder is uniquely pure and godly. Stakes through the heart, though, that's something to avoid. They do not destroy, but they do paralyze, which, under the right circumstances, can often be the same thing. That's a reason to have someone like my trusted driver, Gregory. Oh, Gregory. Such a fine young man, Gregory, making sure you're safe when you drift away. We have many enemies, and they often know their advantage lies with daylight.
It's good to keep human friends, or at least useful.
In moderation. It's best if they don't know your true nature. Although I would say that subordinates are useful, but friends, I have one of those for many years now.
David Boreanaz is Buffy, then Angel, then Bones, and... Wait, he was Warehouse 13, right? Hold on. Shit. David Boreanaz. Yes, that is... Is that not him? Shit. No, it was Eddie McClintock, who looks exactly like him. Okay. Those two are fucking twinners. Look them up. Those two are they're fucking the exact same person. Hi, Hermaeus. You want to say hi?
Hey, man, is it gonna be good? Yeah? Okay. Our little sect supplies social interactions aplenty, but it doesn't really encourage friendships, alliances of convenience to be broken at a whim. Yes, that's more like it.
Every white man looks the same. I'm sorry, they have the same jaw, especially if you look at pictures of them when they're the same age. Same jaw and brow line. Very different nose, I will give you that. But yes, every white man does look the same, which is why I don't normally date white men. Interpret that as you will.
Long-term solidarity does occur in the Camarilla, but we are a very politicized organization by necessity. Loyalty is to your sire, to your prince, and to the sect. Friends must remain a distant priority at best for us to maintain the masquerade and thrive as the years pass. With age comes authority, with it comes influence and power. You wish to reach for them.
She seems to be lost in thought and falls silent for a while, leaving you to ponder all the things you've learned tonight. It still feels absolutely unreal, but as piece after piece, knowledge falls into place, almost like a knowledge fight. The image becomes an entirely logical jigsaw puzzle. Whatever you wouldn't believe on your own, you've witnessed. Many questions swarm your thoughts. The one you keep returning to is what your place in this new reality should be. Car stops. You're in the city, in front of an old, well-renovated apartment building.
We're here. Would you like to see your lodgings?
Is it another parking lot room? For my safety?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You're not a sireless fledgling in Kadir's stern grasp anymore. He wouldn't hold you there any longer than necessary, I think. Come upstairs.
She leads you through a small hat.
She leads you through a tiny little hat. She pulls it off her head, and then suddenly you just fit right on through.
Small hall with a night guard who greets Miss Langley with a good evening and takes you to the stairs up to the second floor. Sophie opens the door to room 209. Inside are all the amenities you could expect from a modern apartment, and some you wouldn't have deemed necessary. Some you wouldn't have deemed necessarily even the previous night, including thick blinds on the windows. The back room has a comfortable-looking bed and a thick steel door with several sturdy-looking locks, but no windows.
Well, how do you like it?
This feels too nice.
Lacks character? Now that's not what I meant. Well, I would appreciate it if you could hold back the need to redecorate. I'm actually quite fond of the decor.
If all white men look the same, how do you pick Sean out of a crowd in Utah? There were very few. I mean, Sean has a very particular build to him, but also you don't encounter men with his hair. His hair really helps him stick out from a crowd. As opposed to me, because I am a tall white guy with very dark brown hair. At a metal show, my girlfriend has had trouble finding me before.
Tomorrow I will take you hunting and discuss the blood.
The blood. God, one of those fucking books in IKEA is just called Blood, or Blood, like BLUD or whatever. And it's just a fake book in IKEA that they have all over the place. So I think she just wants to take me to IKEA to have some Swedish meatballs.
I'll let you get comfortable. The keys are by the television set. I will come pick you up tomorrow night. Use the back room for rest. And lock the doors just in case.
It stings a bit when she leaves. The room suddenly became a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing. No regular food either. Feels strange that Kadir could be a more thoughtful host than your new sire, even if only in that respect. You briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. I seduce Kadir. With nothing left to do, you lie on the couch with the TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Oh, Jesus. One more thing. Kojak reruns. I'd have to be bald for that. President of the United States got himself into serious trouble again. I did not have relations with that entire hall of cheese. President of the United States got himself out of trouble again. The committee has found me not guilty on all charges. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seemed a little bit less insignificant just 2 days ago. You start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many more before you finally understand what happened to you? What you're supposed to do now? Keep coming back to the life you left behind. The people you should contact. The things you want to pick up from your apartment. Wonder if I have the chance for either. As you start to feel the same tiredness that made you drift into a cold sleep last night, settle into the back room. Bed is comforting. Lack of windows, less so. You leave the light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize it's the closest you'll ever come staring at the sun on a breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades and you take the plunge in darkness again. Sinking, sinking, sinking. Oh. Okay, so now we're opening to the main part of the gameplay. So there's going to be things around the city for me to do. And I'm going to be on a timer, more or less. Okay. I actually have to go to sleep for a couple hours. Dylan, do me a favor and listen to Sleep Tokens 1 and 2 EPs when you have time. For you, Ozzy, I will. I have tried listening to some Sleep Token in the past and can't say I was impressed, but because you think so highly of them, I will give them a chance. Welcome, Dire Ultimatum. You have witnessed me as a vampire. This is my second night. Hunger is at the heart of a vampire's existence. To ignore it is to tempt the beast to take over in its desire to feed. To overindulge in feeding may threaten the masquerade while staining what humanity you have left. In coteries of New York, having high hunger is indicated by a progressively thicker, bloody frame around the screen, like the one you see now. As your hunger grows, so does this indicator. Your hunger may increase when you call upon your vampiric powers, or when you need to mend your wounds after a fight. When your hunger reaches the maximum level, you will receive a warning after you complete a piece of the story. Ignore it at your own peril. Some choices might only become visible if your hunger is high enough. Similarly, high hunger may block off some choices, as you will be able to see after pressing continue. Oh. Okay. To decrease your hunger, you will need to feed. Whenever you see a feeding opportunity, you can take the risk to hunt and slake your hunger. You will need to keep the hunger at bay if you are to uphold the masquerade and survive the nights that await. You open your eyes. The bed isn't warm. The room is filled with artificial light from the ceiling. The Solia? The Solia? It's supposed to say solid. Okay. The letter cut off on the frame. The solid metal door is closed. Normally, you'd stretch for a bit. And some mornings, you'd probably throw the quilt over yourself and snooze a moment long. That was before. The way you woke up now, you are fully conscious. No grogginess. Nothing weighing you down. Just the nagging at the back of your head. Not as severe as last time, but unmistakably there. You get up and open the door to the main room. A digital clock on the TV shows the time, 9:04 p.m. You walk over to the blinds and retract them cautiously. The only light coming is in New York City's artificial nighttime luminescence. So that's what your waking hours are gonna look like now. Miss the sunlight already. You're seriously considering just walking out of the apartment and figuring this all out by yourself. Then you come back to the memory of his exotic sword being raised in the gallery. Maybe sticking around isn't that bad an idea after all. You keep jumping channels for around half an hour and then switch to streaming services. Almost as if the universe had a sense of irony, you catch True Blood. A lot of recommendations. I wanna do bad things with you. The doorbell rings. It's Sophie. Good evening, Dylan. What the fuck was that voice? Hold on. Good evening, Dylan. Slept well? It's not really like normal sleep, is it?
I suppose it isn't. Some say it's more like being dead. But we wouldn't know, would we? It's no use reflecting on it anyway. Except that this is who you are now. You made the right choices yesterday. I can teach you many things about yourself. Your blood, its desires, and its power will begin tonight. You are hungry, yes? Oh, I'm sure you are. Our kind always is. There's only one remedy. Blood.
Well, I get why you didn't show Rem Heisei Haren Shigaku, and I still wish you would, just to see how broken we could have made him in the start of October. Oh, no, that... Unfortunately, I did click through it, and because of how much of it is just straight up porn, basically, I can't do that to Rem. Now, Sean, on the other hand...
The drinks we had yesterday at Elysium were not the usual way you slake your thirst. So tonight I will assist you in your first foray into hunting. You need to learn to sense the kind of blood you desire, to understand how you can use the kind's vulnerabilities here.
Predator and prey. That's pretty grim.
I know what you feel. I remember the notion, but you will, inevitably, grow beyond it. You need blood to thrive, but there are many other ways to take it. Some more humane than others. You will find that drinking moderate amount of it regularly will keep the hunger and the whispers of the beast away. You might think yourself monstrous, but there is a balance to be found here. The kiss gives the kind pleasure. You might remember this from your own embrace. Some can even become addicted to the sensation. But if you do it right, they tend to misremember your feeding. After all, vampires do not exist. They are myths, fairy tales, and pop culture mainstays, correct?
She gives you a sly, knowing smile. It was a very good episode and entertaining. Every episode with you is especially Oh, thank you. I try to bring something a little different to each episode I'm in, and I had a lot of fun, especially researching this one, and I learned something. I can license songs for about 30 to 40 bucks. So what I might do is just license a song to use in the middle of an episode for, you know, to fuck with people. Because if it's a licensed version, I can use it however I please. And there is indeed a licensable version of Supercharger Heaven. So I can actually, if we ever do end up covering either Devilman or Devilman Crybaby or any of the other three, I think, Devilman adaptations, I can then have in the background at some point, Rob Zombie just going, Devil Man, Devil Man. So that could be kind of fun.
That is why the masquerade is so important, even more crucial when you feed.
How do you avoid being seen? You
Isolate your prey. Or choose the right circumstances. People tend to avert their gaze when they see a couple intertwined in public. Love bites are easy to explain away.
Devilman Crybaby is almost too popular a show not to cover eventually, just a win. Honestly thought we had covered it at some point, so I did a search through all of our episodes. No, we have not covered anything by Gona Guy, so that was our first one. And I think when we inevitably have a Shonen Flop or Animated crossover, another one, I should say, we need to do Sugar fucking the Magical Girl one. I think that one will be an interesting one to cover. See if I can do an episode where I cover both the manga and the anime, like a handful of chapters of each. Maybe, who knows? We'll see if I can make that work, if I can convince people to actually read.
Some of us keep willing herds, or even just individual kind who desire the kiss. It comes at a higher risk these nights, though not recommended to young kindred like yourself. Feeding from the same area repeatedly can be dangerous, but by branching out you risk the ire of other kindred on whose domains you trespass. Lucky for you, New York is more forgiving in this regard. New York is in somewhat of a unique position. Many of its neighborhoods remain contested or unclaimed. The reason for this is a lesson for another time, but keep the following in mind. Take opportunities to feed when they present themselves these upcoming nights. As long as you hunt cautiously and respect the masquerade at all times, you shall be full. To wit, I want you to join me for a trip tonight. Come downstairs, Gregory is waiting for us.
I'm here waiting like a good girl for Ranma and half her Dan. Oh. If we do Ranma, we have to do the current one, I think, because the old one has elements that were excluded for good reason. You catch yourself. Did you really just think of these passers-by on the street as mere sources of blood? It takes a nudge from Sophie to break your train of thought. It barrels off and heads straight for the orphanage. Her driver opens the door for her and tips his hat to you, gesturing to the back of the car. The car casually joins the somewhat thinned New York traffic. It's still busy in a way only one of the biggest cities in the world can be. Fun. Compared to the daytime commute, it's a pleasant drive. You barely have time to gather your thoughts and formulate new questions before the car comes to a stop. You're among the tall skyscrapers that make up Manhattan's iconic skyline.
Come, Dylan, park the car, Gregory, will you?
The driver just nods and Sophie gets out. You join her, and then the two of you walk through the glass doors together and take the elevator up. You first notice an empty stage with the instruments of a string quartet still in the back. Then take in the few dozen chairs in front of it. The concert seeming concluded, the patrons, all smartly dressed and poshed, have spread out all over the hall. Sophie strides confidently inside, produces an invitation from her purse, and flashes in front of the security guard. You follow close and are let through without issue. If this is too much of a spoiler, feel free not to answer, but curious, are you all doing another 12 Days of April Fools this year? If so, how many have recorded? If so, will there be another bum rush of recordings at the end? Thank God, no. We've already recorded the majority of this year's 12 Days of April Fools. And Ozzy's out, so I'm gonna do a quick Banneroo. But yeah, we've already recorded the majority of April Fool's episodes, and this year Rem did some weird shit.
Let's start easy. A social setting like this one would usually prove quite challenging to an inexperienced kindred, but consider this evening a small gift from your patron. I'm hoping to procure you a willing vessel. Just remember what I told you about taking small sips. This one I have a soft spot for. Don't damage her. Now, let's see here. Ah, there he is.
She notices somebody in the crowd and flashes a heart-melting smile. And suddenly even you feel drawn to her. You haven't thought about it, but it's clear as day now. Sophie is beautiful. Just looking at her is a privilege. Just being with her makes you feel elated. Everybody in the crowd, but especially the man who's almost tripping him over himself to reach her, clearly agrees.
Edgar, I'm so happy to see you. How is your daughter? Is she with you? Oh, there she is. Julie, my girl. Come over, please. There's somebody I'd like you to meet.
The young woman who walks across the hall can't be more than 19 years old. It's clear from her mismatched earrings and partially faded purple hair dye that she doesn't fit this crowd.
Julie, this is Dylan. I think the two of you should get acquainted while I talk business with your da. Not for boring stuff, I assure you. I'm positive you'll like each other.
The girl gives you a shy smile and nods towards the balcony stairs. You follow, somewhat unsure what it is exactly Sophie expects you to do. You reach a secluded space from which the entire lobby is visible. All eyes are on Sophie. They listen intently, then laugh when she does. Julie saves you the trouble of figuring out the next step.
If you're with Sophie, then, I mean, I guess you know that,
Oh, you're adorable. You're adorable. Look at that fucking tattoo. She puts her wrist to her lips and gives herself a theatrical nip, and then looks at you, embarrassed, but also hopeful. Oh, she's a fucking ghoul. This fucking 19-year-old's already a ghoul. Oh, her life is fucked. What, you into this sort of thing? She blushes and looks down at the floor and nods. Oh.
Could you, I mean, you like, Miss Langley tells me
She swallows hard, avoids your eyes.
that I taste nice.
She's not a ghoul. She hasn't drank any of Miss Langley's blood. She's just a chaser. Feels really weird for me to say that.
I'll give you a little treat.
You take her forearm in your hands. Quick look around confirms nobody's watching. Security cameras cover this area. Light down gently. It's surreal. She's just giving you her blood of her own volition. How is this possible? What about the masquerade? Need to ask Sophie. Your thoughts disappear amongst the ecstasy. It's just the taste. Sweet. Fresh. Sanguine. You drink. And drink. And drink. No. Stop. You tear away from the girl harder than you wanted. Still, light just leaves tiny, punctures, almost bitten by an insect. You lick them clean, holes begin to conceal, just like that. Julie is now leaning on the wall, pale, wobbly on her feet, but happy. She lets out a dreamy sigh, opens her eyes. A few tears fall onto her shirt. Tears of joy.
Thank you. Please, can you walk me downstairs? Please? My dad, he doesn't know. He thinks it's a condition. Langley told him so.
He leans on you, requests you walk her over to a bench. She takes a seat and smiles at you. The crowd around Sophie disperses slowly, looking at her now, and residual awe hangs in the air. Yes, she's pretty. Maybe even beautiful, sure. But not your type. What came over you before? You walk over to her.
Edgar, dear, it was splendid talking to you, but we need to get going. Give Julie my best wishes. Oh, come with Dylan.
Gregory's waiting for you out front. It's only in the car that Sophie addresses you.
I can tell from your look that you took the opportunity. Good for you. That girl's exquisite, don't you think? You wouldn't tell by her demeanor, but she has so much passion. It brings out a unique bouquet in her blood.
I feel like I took advantage of the poor girl.
Oh, spare me your dramatics, you whiny little bitch boy. I'm sure she was happy sharing herself. She's such a sheltered girl. Let her have fun from time to time. Oh, time for the next stop. Training wheels off this time. Gregory, fucking Meadows, please.
The driver takes the car over Williamsburg Bridge. Settle your thoughts. Dan is something we're probably going to cover soon enough. I don't exactly know when, but it really does feel like we should be covering it almost post-haste. What did you do? The people back at the hall. Your aura was entrancing. I was even caught in it. Smiles with satisfaction.
Oh, that old trick. Just the blood doing me bidding. We all have talents. Some of them come from the legacy we inherit from our sire. Others can be learned with experience. Sway people won't make them fear me. I see more of the world in greater detail than some kindred. I can will my body to move with unparalleled precision and grace. And more.
Ah, so you're a... either a Venture or a Toreador.
Stretch.
Toreador, the scariest clan. Yeah, sure, Nosferatu will kill you, but at least once they're done, it's done. Toreador will play with you. Nosferatu won't even necessarily always kill you. But then again, you've also got the... oh god, the Tzimitzi. The fucking flesh benders. They tour with you in the worst ways. But, hey, Nosferatu, the way they pick out who they're going to next sire is fucked. They will specifically target people who are incredibly beautiful, talented, people who are the fucking light of the world. And then they intentionally disfigure them, turn them into such a hideous fucking monster that even being seen at night is a masquerade violation. It's diabolical. What are my powers?
Oh, time will tell. Need to discover them yourself. When we arrive, experiment. Give different things a try. Follow your instinct and intuition. It'll guide the blind. Always keep the masquerade in mind, however. It's all fine if you can disappear in plain sight,
or command animals with your mind. Save your talents for the right place and time.
Yeah, fair. I mean, if I just had Obfuscate, that'd be fucking sick. I don't think Bruja get Obfuscate, though. It might be one I can learn. I don't know. I don't know how this game approaches its abilities. It only takes you half an hour to reach the park at this time of night. Both you and Sophie will leave the car, with Gregory left behind to find a parking spot. Sophie seems deep in thought. She takes in the surroundings with a gaze. The sky is surprisingly clear tonight. The stars just barely visible in the light-polluted aura of the city.
Oh, I feel like having a snack myself. I'll be by the fountain. Go look for somebody to your liking. See what effects you can achieve with your blood. But only pick one victim. Just one. Then come back.
Seeing as how she seems not altogether here right now, you decide to leave Sophie to her own devices and seek out your prey. From here, it looks like you have a few choices. Just taking a stroll around the park and finding an isolated jogger or someone like them could work. But focusing on one area might work better. The New York State Pavilion might work as a secluded spot. There's a skate park nearby. Worst case scenario, there's bound to be some unfortunate wino around. Maybe the tennis courts nearby. There's light coming from there, so someone might be playing a late night match. You won't be alone. They might be tired and let their guard down. As these scenarios play out in your mind, you realize you're planning how to assault a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a weird way to be, but now the familiar hunger prompts you to act. Can I not just go to the skate park? Let's go to the tennis court, fuck it. You decide the tennis courts are as good a place as any, and make your way to the bright glow of the lamps illuminating the area. As you guessed, a pair of players. Two men, fit, but older, maybe pushing 60, are finishing up a match. They're the only ones there. It's time to make a move. I have presents? Or I can barge into the showers. Imagine you're just having, you've been playing tennis for an evening. You're like a banker or some boring ass fucking day job. This is the only fun you have at night. You're taking a shower afterwards, and then this fucking Dave Navarro looking motherfucker bursts in the showers and bites you while you're naked. Let's use presents. You think back to what Sophie did in the hall, how she managed to focus the attention of the entire gathering on her. That might be a tall order for you. Single person could be doable. You wait patiently until the two men hit the showers, get out, say their goodbyes. They go their separate ways, and one of them notices you standing there. You immediately grab his attention. Evening! Oh yeah, I'm having a blast. Yeah, won both sets. Not bad for a grandpa. He's very clearly happy with himself. You decide it won't be a better moment to strike. Moving in closer, casually at first, then closing the distance in a single leap, you sink your fangs into his flesh. His blood flows fast and feels energizing. You'd never expect an invigorating taste like this from a guy who's at least your father's age. You only take as much as you need right now, though a voice in your mind urges you to keep drinking. Fit or not, you don't want this guy on your conscience if you take too much. You put him on the ground gently. Make your way back to Sophie. As you're leaving the courts, a figure emerges from the shadows and stops you in your tracks. A hooded man is looking menacingly at you. What do you think you're doing What do you think you're doing? Barging on my turf like this, Lick?
Mike and I Heart Beer. He's Sabat.
Your character looks like he could replace the lead singer of Green Day? Nah, Billy Joe is much prettier than my character.
Lick? The fuck does that mean?
Don't be cute with me. I know what you are. Shove that masquerade bullshit up your ass. Better tell me who you're with before my posse shows up and we beat it out of you. Chill out. I'm with the Camarilla. He does anything but chill out. He immediately tenses up, gives you a nasty look, and bares his fangs, because I just pissed off a Sabat member. You're with the Ivory Tower, cunts, huh? Well. Tonight's my lucky night. I'ma fuck you up and bring you to Callahan. We'll have some fun breaking your shins. Maybe, at the end of it, I'll get to have a nice, long sip. I wonder what you taste like, Lick. Yeah, he's Sabat as fuck. He's willing to practice the Ovalry right out the gate. Alright. He does his best impression of Hannibal actors and the nice Chianti shtick. But it's not intimidating as he thinks.
I have celerity?
Nah, man, I'm a fucking bruiser. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. You decide the time for talking is over. You rush him, throw him off balance, landing on the ground. He's fast, but weak. A brawl takes a bit out of both of you. Suddenly, you hear heavy footsteps closing in. Doug is snatched from you. He hits a tree, hard. Before he can recover, a sharp piece of wood pierces his chest. It's Gregory, Sophie's driver, who deals the blow. The hoodlum is rendered inert. His eyes remain open. He does not move or test. Gregory throws him over his shoulder. Miss Langley is waiting for us. Come, before your snack wakes up. He points to your victim, who is just coming to, and gives you a somewhat snarky smile, then breaks in a swift walk towards the Unisphere. Thanks for the help. Miss Langley asked me to look out for you. He suspected you'd get into trouble. He seems to realize he might have said too much and just keeps walking, somewhat embarrassed. You reach the Unisphere together, with the hoodlum in tow. Two figures are visible near the sculpture, a man and a woman, tangled in passionate embrace. No, not exactly. It's Sophie, feeding. But this whole scene is set up so that it looks like a pair getting intimate in public. Pulls it off like she's done it 100 times before. It occurs to you that she probably has. He's simply one hell of a driver. The man is unsure on his feet as she lets go of him and leads him towards a nearby bench. Noticing you, she whispers something into his ear. She nods to Gregory as you approach.
And what do we have here? Did this kindred give you trouble, Dylan?
You said something about a Callahan. Name ring a bell? Shocked for a split second, and recovers her regular countenance.
Oh, yes. He's an anarch? No. Okay. No. Anarchs, sure, are against Camarilla in general. That's fine. However, they do not openly practice Diavolry. That's not fucking anarch.
Also, I'm a Bruja. I'm already anarch by blood.
Let's go to the car. We'll put him in the trunk and present him to Kadir tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll be delighted to make this Unbound's acquaintance.
Gregory carries the staked vampire and dumps him in the car's trunk like a mannequin. It's a strange sight, and you're quite happy you're not in that poor fucker's shoes right now. It's almost surprising you can get away with just casually throwing a stiff into your car and driving away. But, hey, this is New York City, baby. Still, the nagging thought that anything you did tonight could have been recorded by a camera or picked up by a rando with a smartphone and streamed online fills you with dread. Hunting and using your abilities is dangerous business. It's clear that this whole being a vampire thing has about as many caveats as it does perks. You're taken out of your headspace by Sophie's voice.
I'll pick you up tomorrow night, same as tonight. I have some business to attend to at Elysium, and I expect you to accompany me. Boss, our friend in the back needs to be properly introduced to Kadir and the Prince. I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to say to the court.
Her voice is cold, cruel, nothing like the enchanting personality she showed at the gallery earlier tonight. Sophie is clearly a woman of many faces. What's gonna happen to him?
Oh, the usual, I imagine. Interrogation by Kadir, probably in the basement of the gallery, quick trial with the Prince in attendance if she's there tomorrow night. Swift execution is the verdict.
This all sounds eerily familiar to you, and you can't help but feel a pang of guilt when you think about what awaits this guy tomorrow night.
You haven't told me about how your hunting went. Getting the hang of it, I would hope.
I'll need some time to get used to this. It doesn't come naturally.
It will, with time. You need to think about it less. Hunting is the one scenario where you'll trust your instincts. Moderation, of course.
She seems distracted, not all there. Her thoughts drift and the car remains silent until you reach your apartment.
We'll pick you up tomorrow evening. Good night.
Just like that, without any further courtesy, Sophie leaves, driven to an apartment with Gregory, a body in the trunk, right in the middle of Manhattan. Did you cross paths with situations like this in your past, unknowingly? What other secrets did you pass on the streets without knowing their true nature? Your haven is just as you left it hours ago. Though the sun won't come up for some time, you feel tired. You learned something about yourself today. It'll take time to process. You're not in the mood for television. Few books on the shelves in the apartment aren't in languages you speak, or they sound like a boring read. Nothing left to do but rest. You settle in the back room, lock the door. Moment of hesitation, but a decision. This time, you turn the light off. Think back to Julie. How many people in this city know about this vampiric society? How many are willing accomplices in sustaining it? And the thug you met in the park, he's not Camarilla, is he? Are there independent vampires? How does that work? More questions. Begin wondering if there's ever going to be a night when you could start crossing them off the list instead of adding to it. Close your eyes. Sink into the now familiar void of nothingness. He greets you with open arms, like an old friend.
Sprechen Sie unter Sprachen, Dylan?
Not really, no. German, I can understand enough when reading to get the context of. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. Unfortunately, I didn't have a single native Spanish speaker. I just had returned Mormon missionaries who thought they could give a fantastic lesson, which really sucked. I would rather have had a lesson from someone who actually fucking knew the language. And on Duolingo, I am learning to read Arabic. But that's about it. Spanish was a fun class, though. Initially took it trying to impress a girl whose parents were Mexican immigrants, and she was not comfortable with her heritage, and when I tried saying a pickup line in Spanish, she ran away. Which, didn't go well. Anyway, you open your eyes. It's pitch dark in here. The blackness of a coffin drifting in the abyss. Oh, right. The light. You grasp for the switch, flip it. The familiar cramped room with the steel door and no window comes into view. You emerge from the bedroom fully awake, just like yesterday. The fuck you say? Okay, she was actually really embarrassed of her heritage, and like when she told me she was Mexican, she said it like she was coming out of the closet. I had no idea what the fuck to make of it because I was 12. But I've realized now that she was just really ashamed and probably had experienced some shit. But I just thought she was cute and wanted to speak a language she knew, and it didn't work. Didn't work out. But hey, that happens. You live, you learn. This time, however, Sophie's waiting for you, comfortably seated on the sofa. A book in her hand, The Melancholy of Resistance. Hold on, is that a real book? The of Resistance. A novel by Laszlo fucking Russian. Hungarian. Oh. Krasnorkai. 1989 novel, relatively recent. Narrative is set in a restless town where a mysterious circus, which exhibits a whale and nothing else, contributes to an apocalyptic atmosphere. First published in English in 2000. Oh. She never learned to threaten people with La Chancla? No, instead she threatened people with a knife that she always kept on her. But yeah, no, I blame adolescence for my weakness to goth Latinas, just like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Good evening, Dylan.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
Oh, to be fair, I haven't been here long. I was enjoying reminiscing about the time when I called this my haven.
Oh, the decor was much different, of course.
I have an appointment. I've received word Elysium would be called tonight on account of your unruly friend from Corona Park. This should be a great opportunity for you to mingle.
She keeps talking as you walk downstairs and get in the car. Gregory gives you a slight nod and small smile while opening the door for Sophie. He starts the car when you take your seat in the back. This is Sophie speaking.
Most of the Primogen Council is bound to be there. At least, those who usually attend. Probably some other important personalities you do well to at least learn about.
Ugh. How should I carry myself? You've never told me if there's any kind of savoir-vivre. Hold on, how the fuck do you pronounce that? And what does it mean?
Savoir-vivre?
Fucking hate French. bullshit language. Just as bad as Dutch. Savoir vivre kind of rules I should respect when talking to other vampires. It just means etiquette. Just like fucking etiquette, man.
Knowing that you're amongst your superiors is probably the most important. In our society, status comes with age. Pardon my insincerity, but you are insignificant. Not even associating with me can make the fact that you've been kindred for barely a few nights be forgotten. So, know your place, good for your superior's business, and show the utmost respect. Thanking the prince for sparing you, maybe having a friendly chat with Kadir publicly might show your gratefulness for being part of the Camarilla now. I'd suggest you make it sincere. At any rate, you should behave yourself tonight. Remember what I told you about reflecting on me as your patron? I have a reputation to uphold and not tarnish it.
There it is. She might have saved you. She might be protecting you and teaching you. But it's clear what she's really concerned about. Her own interests. You step into the art hole with something of a bad memory. Last time you were here, your entire world had been turned upside down. Because the world is upside down. Your existence nearly ended. But tonight, there was very little outward hostility. Yes, Kadir gives you a look that's definitely intended to remind you of your place. Prince, also in attendance, seems pleased to see you.
Welcome, Sophie. Dylan, did I get that right?
Fuck you!
Good evening to both of you. I understand there's someone else you wish to present to the court.
Oh yes, Prince. They'll be joining us shortly. My assistant is retrieving them presently.
This better be worth the prince's time, Langley. The prince gives Kadir a cold glance.
Forgive the sheriff's harshness. He's in a particularly foul mood tonight. Something to do with Dylan's begetter eluding his grasp, I believe.
Ouch! That is a fucking dick move. Mention of your sire makes you come back to all the talk of eschewing societal norms and disillusion with the status quo you enjoy back at the club. Look at you now. Agreeable. You likely wouldn't be too happy with this whole setup. Prince, court, hierarchy, titles. But hey, she's gone. Probably forever. If you could ever break out of this, you'll be on your own. Flaring up of whispers in the gallery breaks you out of your thoughts. Gregory enters the room. Jumpsuit-clad inert vampire is still staked on his shoulder. The show's about to start. Sophie's driver places his charge in the middle of the room and nods respectfully to Kadir. The sheriff approaches the vampire and removes the stake from his chest. The captive's eyes flicker to life. He starts looking around in disbelief. Like a cornered animal, he backs out on all fours, keeps going in circles until he realizes he's trapped. Kadir steps on the man's chest and pins him to the floor. Hey. Why? Who do we have here? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Come on, man. No, don't. Silence. The sheriff takes on an aura of utter dread. He appears as if he's a primal force of nature that's about to get you. There's absolutely nothing but you can do but shrivel in terror. The beast inside you shrieks, and you could swear it happens in unison with the instincts of some of the other guests here tonight. It is unlike anything you've experienced in his company during your turbulent first nights of vampire. He really did go easy on you, all things considered. It seems like it takes all of the hoodlum's willpower not to crawl into a fetal position and start crying. Oh man, please, don't hurt me, man, don't. You and me are going to have a little talk downstairs at the prince's discretion.
Please, go ahead, my sheriff.
Heard the prince. Get up. Let's go. He doesn't wait for a confirmation. He just grabs the man and drags him. kicking and screaming out of the room. Conversations start all around you. Some whispered, some quite overt. Sophie looks somewhat bored of the whole affair, her eyes wandering from art piece to art piece, clearly finding nothing into particular liking. So, what happens now?
It'll be at least some minutes before Kadir gets the information he needs out of this thug. Why not we mingle while we wait for him to break? Excuse me.
Sophie leaves your side and goes to the corner of the gallery. Kindred. Some seemingly pretty old-fashioned gather. Concierge offers you a drink. It's still warm. It smells nice. Just a sip to start you off. A splash over your palate. Coating your tongue inside of your cheeks. Nourishment. You're left to your own devices. You have a look around. The prince is currently talking to a dark-skinned woman that you recall seeing here those few nights ago. She has a cold but noble countenance to her. Conversation seems to be casual. A loud, shrill laugh turns your attention to the bespectacled man you saw with Sophie on the night of your judgment. He's making the rounds, chatting up other patrons. You feel somebody's eyes on you. Casually dressed, plain-looking man stands alone near a column, watching you. He turns his gaze away sheepishly when he realizes you've noticed. There's something about this guy. It's not that he's staring at you, as everybody in the room has at one point or another. It's how he does it. He seems shy, maybe even afraid. It's hard to find a secluded spot in the gallery tonight. This guy has an entire corner of the room all to himself. As you approach, he's standing alone, no glass in hand. Look on his face. So, care to tell me what's so interesting about me that you've been looking at me since I came in?
Sorry, didn't mean to pry. Just seeing how you're doing. You're still in one piece. That's good. Glad.
He's wearing a fucking Lacoste shirt and a turtleneck. That's just, dude.
Name's Larson, or you can call me Robert. Either's fine. I have no idea why I'm giving him this voice, but apparently this is one Robert Larson has.
Just never asked how's Sean doing. I know he was sick, but hopefully he's on the upswing. He's doing a lot better today. He even left the house for a few minutes. I'm quite proud of him. Yeah, no, he was so fucked up these last few days. He was a wreck. But yesterday he was mostly on the mend. Today I'd say he's about 80%.
Or you can call me Bob.
So,
Robert Larson, who are you? What, you mean like generally? Vampire, same as you. Well, I might not quite look it. I'm one of Prince Bernard's Primogen. Your own business, in case the prince requires my insight. Usually it's so she can hear me out before ignoring me. Not sure if you were paying attention this night, but when the prince mentioned diverging opinions on whether he should be executed or not, that was me. I was the diverging opinion.
not that I'm ungrateful, but out of curiosity, what is your reasoning?
My reasoning? Oh, just common sense. You shouldn't be blamed for being assaulted and essentially murdered to boot. But as Kadir loves to say, the traditions are clear. Listen, I don't want to be rude and I appreciate you reaching out, but bit of advice. Stay away from me. Many vampires regard my position as Primogen to be some kind of joke, you know. You talk to me, and I'll notice and I'll hold it against you.
You have a quick look behind you and see that a few kindred are shooting you curious glances. One woman in particular, a redhead boasting a fanciful hairstyle, disapprovingly. Some of them already do, I imagine. Excuse me, I need to try getting word in a few Primogen members before Kadir returns. Enjoy your night. With just the critical looks of a few kindred to keep you company, you start thinking of who to pursue next. You notice Sophie mingling with other kindred, clearly in her element and not to be disturbed. Kadir hasn't come back yet. You can probably find time for at least one conversation. Let's talk to the prince. You approach the prince, trying to stay as respectful of her private conversation as possible. She glances at you as you step forward, scrutinizing gaze mimicked by her companion. She addresses the dark-skinned woman before turning to you.
Excuse me for just a moment, Samira. Yes, Dylan, what is it?
I wanted to... Thank you for sparing me, Prince. I realize it wasn't an easy decision to make. I wanted to express my sincerest appreciation.
How thoughtful.
She takes a long look at you before she continues.
Didn't do it from the kindness of my unbeaten heart. You are an asset, Miss Langley, to the Camarilla, and to me. I believe I made the right decision. Prove it to me and the other kindred of the city that it was so, and there might be room for your future nights and just survival and servitude.
I know that wasn't the voice I initially gave her, but I can't remember at this point. The dark-skinned woman looks impatient at you and then catches the prince's attention.
Forgive me, that is all I can spare right now. We have some things to discuss with Samira still. Enjoy your night, Dylan.
To you as well, Prince Bernard. Prince nods and turns back to Samira and their conversation. A loud exchange near the staircase grabs everybody's attention. Kadir is back, and the hoodlum is with him. The sheriff pushes the other vampires inside the room. The vampire that threatened you last night is a mess. That stupid hat is still inexplicably on his head, covering some of his ruined face in welcome shadow. Barely conscious. His shin is broken, you think? Something protruding there, making the pant leg bulge. One arm seems twisted at a strange angle. Very little blood, surprisingly. Clearly a whole lot of hurt.
Well, Kadir, did our guest cooperate?
Tell the prince your name.
It's Howard. Not the duck, I swear.
And who do you run with, Howard?
The Midnighters.
An Endok coterie, my prince.
Okay, so they're not proper anarchs, they're a gang. Alright.
Active for some time now, though from what this one told me, the name is about the only legacy the group has kept over the years.
I see.
Hey, Princey, baby! Princey, my guy! I didn't mean it. I didn't.
A loud crack makes some of the guests audibly gasp as Kadir's slap dislocates the man's jaw. A spray of blood creates something like an abstract art piece on the floor.
This one is guilty of threatening a member of the Camarilla and claiming a domain without the prince's approval. That alone would be enough to pass switch judgment. But he is also anarch.
My prince.
There can be only one verdict, and death.
Do your duty, Sheriff.
Unless, of course, someone would like to play at being a good Samaritan like our dear Miss Langley a few months ago.
The look the prince serves you and Sophie is a cruel jest. Sophie takes it gracefully, smiling and slipping her arm under yours in strange public show of affection. Nobody says anything. The vampire named Howard jumps to his feet and makes for the window. Grab him. In a split second, you remake your choice. Focusing your blood, you dash forward and grab Howard by the back of his jumpsuit, throwing him away from the window. You expect resistance, but you find you don't have to worry about it when a swift cut separates Howard's head from his body. You let go, and the headless corpse slumps to the ground. Kadir is standing between you and the window, his sword drawn, and an ugly smile on his face.
Well, Dylan, your eagerness is laudable, if unnecessary.
That Howard fellow couldn't have hoped to escape his fate, not facing Kadir's expertise. So if I had tried to escape the night I was facing execution, I would have just died.
Hermaeus, welcome. Oh, Hermaeus, say hi to people.
However, I have made note of the show of loyalty when reviewing the patrons' accounts. Would like to thank Miss Langley for bringing this anarch thug to mine and Kadir's attention. I assume all have found the verdict satisfactory? It's a rhetorical question, and everyone here knows it. Then I consider this night's meeting concluded. Good night. He steps out of the room, and you see that many of the guests move to do the same. Sophie seems to be conversing with somebody, a serious-looking man in a trench coat, about what transpired. When did I learn Kadir's last name? Okay. You probably have time to strike up a conversation of your own, too. Kadir al-Azmai is still here. For one, but clearly getting ready to leave. Larson is still moping around, and the other man you noticed before Kadir brought the Anarch is still chatting with the main guests. No, I'm gonna talk to Kadir. Kadir's my homie. The sheriff's moves seem to have improved, so you decide you won't get a better shot at saying your piece. He's just sheathing his sword as you approach him. He notices you before his face turns from a melancholic frown back to his regular predatory smirk. You seem to have caught him in a moment of reflection. What is it, Dylan? I wanted to thank you for bringing me here in one piece. Give me a chance. An emotion creeps onto Kadir's face that you haven't seen the sheriff exhibit yet. Is that gratitude? It's fleeting. Only there for a moment. Gone. Blink of an eye. It was trying on my nerves, and you are still far and away from proving that it was the right thing to do. I don't think that a few kind words will let you off the hook. Still, I have to admit, I was as surprised as the prince when you jumped at the opportunity to stop that Anarch from escaping. I was sure Valerie would have beat you to it. If there's nothing else, I'll be taking my leave.
Why are you such a dick? No. I don't want to ask him any of these.
I'm gonna ask him if he enjoys his job. Do you enjoy being a sheriff for Prince Bernard? Woman has nothing to do with this. It's my duty. When Calabros asked me to fill the shoes of sheriff and root out our enemies, I was glad to serve the sect. When Helena became prince and asked that I keep doing this, I agreed, because I believe in the Camarilla. I respect the fact that the needs of the many outweigh the wants of a few. He picks up his sword and turns toward the stairs. More Kindred understood that, my job would be much duller. On that note, I wish you good night. And watch yourself. You've messed up my batting average, so I'll make sure to keep a close eye on you. With that final threat, that's not a threat. That's him being kind. That's him being kind. Right about then, when Sophie ends her conversation and walks over to you.
Interesting evening, wasn't it? Oh, come. Gregory's waiting downstairs.
He seems preoccupied with something, not in a talkative mood. It's an awkward ride back to the city. Can I out-hair Kadir? Yeah, probably. Especially if I had, if it was a day when I decided to actually do a lot with my hair. When I do, like, the t-shirt method and proper curly girl, my curls are, like, fucking, not, like, super curly, but really coily, like, thick fucking coils. It looks... I'm at my most Greek when I do that. And, yeah, I could probably out-hair him. This time, you arrive at another building, just 2 streets across from your apartment. He brings you upstairs through a very nice lobby and a luxurious-looking hall into her domain.
Please, have a seat. She'll be right with you.
You take in your surroundings. The apartment is like a gallery. Old-school smoking room that you've seen in some period piece once. The Nouveau Riche's living room, meticulously combined together.
Apologies, old habits die. She's smoking! Clearly some stick with you even after death.
He drags on her cigarette and breathes out. Breathes?
How's she doing that?
Can you do that?
Oh, yes, you might not know, but it takes some practice, but you can keep smoking if you like. Other things, too. Experiment. Surprise yourself. But I did not bring you here to show off. This is where I rest these nights. That door in the back, the bedroom, similar to yours. I have servants and bodyguards in addition, of course. I brought you here because I need you to trust me. When I told you that I needed your best behavior to uphold my good standing with the court, I meant it. That's not the whole story.
It's not like she could get lung cancer. I mean, yeah, if I didn't have to worry about lung cancer, I would smoke too. I get it.
I have your interests in mind too. That's why I've given you your own haven. That's why I'm trying to teach you how to navigate this new reality. You need to trust me, or else this won't work. You can come here whenever you feel like asking me something. You're in trouble too. I hope that won't happen often. I would ask you to come here when you wake up tomorrow. I have something to discuss with you.
I'll be here. First thing, tomorrow night.
I appreciate that.
That silence again. There's definitely something on Sophie's mind, but she doesn't seem eager to share it with you just yet.
I'm leaving for another visit. Downstairs with me. We'll give you a lift.
A quick trip. Promise you'll show up tomorrow, and some polite goodbyes later. Open the door to your haven and gather your thoughts. It's exciting, in a way. Being dragged deeper and deeper into the secret society and its rules. Whatever Sophie has planned for you, it's bound to teach you more about this thing you have become. You sink into your vampiric sleep, just a sliver of hope. It's a welcome change. Alright, I think I'm gonna do one more day, and then I'm gonna call it for today. Once more darkness falls upon the city. You wake up, same as before. Same as before in a windowless room. But it does scroll, that's nice. As you pry open the reinforced steel door, you look out the window to see, invariably, a sky bereft of sunlight. And then it hits you. The hunger. For a moment, you let yourself wonder if there will ever come a night when it's just there. Given what you've learned thus far, you probably have about as much chance of kick-starting your heart with jumper cables. What time is it there? It is 11 o'clock. Or 2300 hours, if I want to be, like, precise. You lock the door behind you and head over to Sophie's apartment. You did promise to call on her. Might as well not keep the lady waiting. Hey, what else are you gonna do? Call Jess? Right. What'd you tell her? Picked up at all. Probably use the opportunity to stick some more needles in you. Worse, persuade you to come back. Go back to work? Oh, yeah, who are we kidding? HR probably found a replacement the day after you went missing. No one there cares if you got kidnapped or turned into a creature of the night. These thoughts put you in a weird mood. It's a strange sensation to walk the crowded streets. Same as you have times before. Feeling so disconnected. All these people, you're not one of them. Not anymore. 6 a.m. here. So we're -7 GMT. So you're actually like dead center GMT. So either you're in England or close enough. Like latitude-wise, or longitudinally. Yeah, longitude? Yeah, longitudinally. Longitudinally? Longitudinally? Portugal! Oh, shit, hell yeah! Nice. You are... Oh, but you're Dominican. Oh, fuck yeah. I do not know, unfortunately, much about the Dominican Republic. I know a bit about Portugal. Mainly it comes down to the colonizer past. But hey, they are... Without the Portuguese language, we wouldn't have cachaça, which is one of the most delightful of liqueurs. And I should probably do more to learn about the culture and everything involving, well, everything around the world, but I don't have much time, so I do what I can when I can. You're a vampire, kindred. You need to carve your own path in this strange new existence, one way or another. Oh, for fuck's sake. Did I not type their name in right? Okay, cool. I think that ban worked. I can't tell. So if there's a spam link in chat that didn't make it all the way through, cool. I tried to ban, but Twitch is being weird about it. At least you didn't mention the classic Punta Cana. That's what my country is most known for. I have no idea what that is. So... Yeah, no, I got nothing. I can't even figure out what that might mean in English. My Spanish is so incredibly rusty. A quick word with the security guard and you're led into the elevator. Apparently, Miss Langley is expecting you. Or she is. You knock and wait, patiently, as footsteps on the other side grow closer. Finally, the door opens and Gregory, Sophie's driver, invites you in. You find the lady herself standing by the window, silhouetted against the city's midnight glow. Stares out, motionless, marble statue. Alright, Google image. Oh, am I gonna regret this? Where's my phone? Where the fuck did I put my phone? It's under my headphones. Alright, let's see. Let's do this incognito, just in case it is something that I shouldn't be looking at. Sure, it's fine. But... That's just a... It's a town? Oh, what did they do to that beautiful town? With the fucking beautiful ocean view? They turned it into a fucking resort? The water is so pretty. And then they just fucking ruined it with that shitty looking hotel. Oh. Man, I fucking hate that shit. Ugh. Those images were so pretty. And then... Man... Yeah, Tourist Haven, that tracks. And I'm... Oh, God. I bet it's gonna be... It's similar to Cuba, where you've got the carefully manicured Tourist Haven, but then outside of it, you have the slums where the people who work there actually live, scraping, doing everything they can to make do and survive on the meager wages paid, despite the tourists handing money hand over fist just to stay at these goddamn resorts. None of it's actually going towards the people that live there. It's not making any of their lives better. It's only enriching these goddamn conglomerates that own the resorts. Anyway. Winter when the world is cold, my country is still in summer. I don't know, I actually prefer winter. The fact that it's been 80 degrees Fahrenheit out here is irritating in the middle of October. I want it to be at most 65 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to be able to wear a flannel. I've got so many cool flannels. I've got a Vampira flannel, like, right behind me, just showing. I've got so many cool long sleeve shirts from classic horror that I can't wear because it's fucking 80 degrees out. If I go outside in a long sleeve shirt, I'll die. I need to move to like Alaska or something. Oh, they animated her. Good evening, Sophie. Doesn't react immediately, but seems to snap out of some meditative state and look at you with strangely bleary eyes. Yes, good evening, Dylan. Just wondering, when you look out at this city, and you see the lights, hear the hum, smell the rain on the pavement. I dropped her accent for a moment because she's being real with me. You gaze out. Lights and rain, relentless honkies below, music blasting from a nearby window echoing off buildings. I should record an hour of this and throw it up on YouTube as an ambient piece. Other than that, though, this is usual. Sights, the sounds, the smells. You know them all too well. She watches you, but she's disappointed somehow. Covers it with a courteous smile. Well, not everyone can appreciate the intricacies that this world offers, in fact. Among kindred, my clan is somewhat notorious for finding the innate meaning in the mundane. See? Ah, yeah, she's a Toreador. Toreador. Sounds really funny when you say it with a really shitty accent. There are 13 such bloodlines. There's more than 13, technically. I mean, especially if you get involved with Antitribu, but I'm not gonna do that. The number has been contested in the past. Yeah. In these nights, it seems that nothing is certain. The clans have gone by many epithets over the years. Names used these nights have their roots in medieval times. The original Inquisition even used to categorize us, describe our inherent differences. Time we adopted our slave names ourselves. Each clan has. Hey, buddy. Okay. Originating from an ancient progenitor carried from sire. For the Toreador, this gift lies in sensitivity of sorts. We are uniquely attuned to beauty. It's both. You can see either just kind of a blessing on most nights. There's Sheriff is of my clan as well, although you'd be hard-pressed to see him as such. Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, he had presence. He did have presence, clearly, but most clans have that. Oh, poor Kadir. It breaks my heart to see him such. Still, there is a beauty. Oh, nothing like a good fall from grace. Oh. Kadir used to have something going on. He used to be someone and not just a fucking boogeyman. Where she might act playful, well, she genuinely cares. It breaks her heart. Breaks her poor little undead, unbeating heart. She lets her gaze wander for a brief moment, but is quick to regain her composure. And there are the Ventru, known for their pride and a proclivity to rule over others. The prince represents that clan, as is quite common in our society. Where the blue bloods think themselves rulers, the Bruges like to see themselves as preeminent revolutionaries. They call for universal rebellion or being slaves to their own temper. Excuse you, I'm not a slave to my temper. We don't discuss the rabble much anymore. Not after they've largely broken off with the Camarilla. Philosophers once. Well, I hope to tell you more about some of the others tonight. What my clan is. No, I can only guess it. It's on certain aspects of your behavior entail. You'll need to come to it on your own conclusion. Seek validation from the clanmates if you require such a thing. As you'll no doubt learn, some kindred fit these stereotypes more than others. Oh,
blood is hard to deny. There are those that certainly try. But that is perhaps a subject for another time. I invited you here for a reason. It's something I wanted to speak to you about. It is customary in our society, among younger kindred, organized into coteries. Coteries? I'm assuming it's coteries. It's organized into cooties. Sometimes they're called by the prince themselves or mandated by a fled sire. In our case, you may treat it as more of a strong recommendation. I want you to seek out a companion. Not only because you need to learn more about our society, but it is useful. True friendships are rare, but having allies, temporary ones, something of a necessity these nights. Selfish creatures don't bond with each other. You have your own coterie? Any close allies? Those that I trust enough to work. Not necessarily a coterie. Not for a century. You, however, would do well to meet some of the city's younger kindred. See if you can find a connection. You know, dock with them a little. It's an essential experience from something I should have read further before I said that. She puts on a mysterious smile. Spent some of my precious time this night asking around, pondering potential kindred feud. Came up with a short list of contacts. I hope you appreciate the gesture. Forging a partnership with them might offer perspectives and viewpoints that I cannot provide. Lenses through which are kind. They are all members of the Camarilla, of course. More or less. Show me the ones that are less. Who's on the list? And I want to find the less one first. Eager to learn about them, I see. Glad. So, let us start with the Tremere. Oh god, the Tremere. They were a powerful clan, disliked by many, but feared, respected by many more. They are an important pillar of the Camarilla since the very beginning. They are blood sorcerers. You look at Sophie with a hint of disbelief. Blood sorcerers. I mean, hey. They're the blood sorcerers. However, fucking Tzimitzi are flesh sorcerers, and that's a bit worse. You look at Sophie with a hint of disbelief. Blood sorcerers? Pretty sure Mark from QA used to brag about having a level 70 blood sorcerer. No, you don't think he meant magical vampires. Sophie snickers. Oh, child, don't be caught with that look on your face when you meet a warlock in person. They really are adept at using vitae, their own, as well as others, to unique code effects. They are quite rigid in their hierarchy. Kindred I had in mind for you might need some persuading. His name is Agathon.
Agathon. Ooh.
From what I hear, he's quite the scholar. Very ambitious. The child of a noted Tremere named Eiling Sturbridge. Aisling? Eiling. Probably Aisling. Aisling Sturbridge. Spend enough time with
Agathon.
I'm sure you'll run into her sooner or later.
Bloodman, then.
Oh yes, it's fascinating. I'll keep the secret, Tremere. Can't expect them to share it with you. Some things have to be earned. Anyway, if you wish to contact the young Tremere, I hear you can usually find him in a New Age store out on Broadway. The Tremere have one of their workshops there. Gregory would give you. Now, this next recommendation comes with a bit of a caveat. As you recall me saying, most Meta Knights have unique features that might not be obvious. I'm gonna meet a Nosferatu. I'm gonna meet a Nosferatu. There's one clan whose members wear their curse on their sleeve. I mean, Tzimitzi also kind of wear their curse on their sleeve. Followers of the set kind of do. The Nosferatu. And what's with the goofy names? Because they're really big on Blue Oyster Cult. No wonder they make their havens in sewers, abandoned buildings, and such. Their appearance is hideous and obviously unnatural. And they walk the streets like other kindred. The kind would have learned of our existence long. Did she just shudder? It's hard to tell with her usual complexion, but you can swear her skin suddenly took on an even more sickly pallor. The one I have in mind isn't as big an eyesore as the worst of them, but it's no Adonis either. Still, he has some talents, connections that you might find useful. His name is D'Angelo. He has office, lack of a better term, an otherwise abandoned grain terminal in Red Hook. Ah, Deadwalk. Okay. Right next to one of those Swedish stores. The name escapes me. The ones with the awful furniture. Ah, yes, Orsk.
Why does he have an office?
He fancies himself a detective, if you can believe it. Thus he insists on having an office to meet with his clients. Indulge his little charade. Might make him more eager to talk to you.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be fucking fun. Hell yeah. I already love him.
Angelo does odd jobs for Kadir, cleaning up dirt, locating kindred who put murder in, and what Nosferatu are best at. He's on a case right now, something to do with kind murders, I think. After your initial brush with our dear sheriff, I think it'd be wise to show some goodwill towards his agenda.
I mean, ACAB, but also Kadir's kind of hot, and Nosferatu are fun. Takes a brief pause to look out the window.
Now come to more exotic proposals.
Ooh, what do we have here? Okay, exotic. Probably I can introduce me to Bruja. Probably Malkavian. I honestly might think a follower of Set if this is because they're still kind of in the Camarilla. They have their own thing going on, but I'm trying to think of more exotic ones. As if a blood mage and the vampire detective were business as usual.
Oh, a gangrel!
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking cool. Fuck. You want to meet a gangrel? You might have heard of the gangrel before. They're a wild clan in touch with their beast in a way others might not dare to attempt. They mostly keep out of the big cities. There are exceptions. Normally, they haven't been a part of the Camarilla for over 2 decades, but the one kindred I would like you to meet has a strong, shall we say, familial ties to the sect. Her name is Tamika. Tamika? Tamika. Her sire, Jezebel, was instrumental during the Battle of New York back in 1999, the same battle that cemented the city as a Camarilla domain. Sadly, her achievements have gone largely unrecognized. Tamika and a number of her siblings still reside in the domain in which they were recorded after the battle, Prospect Park. Jezebel left the city some years ago, with being underappreciated.
What else is there about Tamika?
Biased around. Out of all of Jezebel's childhood, Tamika is known to be the most rational and cool-headed, at least for a gangrel.
Oh, her and I are going to get along fine. If she's rational for a gangrel, she's going to be Bruja levels.
That said, she's likely to have a unique way of appraising your worth. I won't say how exactly, but you should be prepared for an interesting conversation. Again, that could be said of almost every kindred in this city.
There's that fucking smile again.
So you see, seeking out Tamika could prove quite educational, nothing else, and who knows, perhaps you'll find her temperament to be a welcome change of pace. But, speaking of a change of pace, I have one last suggestion for you. Though it's one I do not make lightly. Kindred who calls herself Hope.
She's a Malkavian. Oh, fucking love Malkavians. Oh,
They're so fun. Malkavians are uniquely insane. However, it could also be reasoned that they're not actually, necessarily insane. It's that they share a fucking hive mind with their fucking clan progenitor. It is such a cool fucking prospect. They're a uniquely cursed clan. For centuries, we consider them mad, insane, unhinged. But for those of us who spend enough time with them to come to understand the truth, it's no sickness.
unique perception of the world has them appear to us as unstable. And that perception can prove to be very valuable. Having a Malkavian as your companion might be taxing on the nerves. It's a true test of patience at times.
Oh no, I fucking love Malkavians.
But their insight and mission, unrivaled. As for Hope, specifically, she's said to be a recluse, but I've on good authority that she can be found in an internet cafe, I believe it is called. Lower Manhattan. Gregory has the address.
And how did you learn about Hope?
One of my colleagues told me. He considers her uniquely talented, tapped into the current fads among kind. Something I'm personally interested in. Or, I know.
You called your car a fucking jalopy.
I believe that is all of them. Still have a few social calls to make tonight. Maybe two. Use tonight and tomorrow night to arrange some coordinations of your own. Send Gregory for you as soon as I have further need of your services. Oh, that reminds me. You will need a car.
You didn't call it a jalopy this time. Fuck you.
Find us downstairs, won't you?
She smiles once more and turns to her driver. He helps her put on her coat. The three of you leave Sophie's apartment. Sophie points to one of the cars near the building as Gregory hands you the keys. A rather inconspicuous compact car. A decent-looking, if not luxurious, Ford Focus.
Stay safe. It's your first night alone.
As they drive away, you find yourself with more freedom than you've had these past few nights. A blessing? A burden? Time will tell. With a list of addresses in hand, you consider your next move. I fucking love Nosferatu. However, I will never say no to a Malkavian. Sophie suggested you meet Hope, a reclusive member of the Malkavian clan, who supposedly holed up in an internet cafe in Lower Manhattan. Why? The very first time I played any Vampire the Masquerade, I played VTMB as a Malkavian. I had no idea what I was getting into, and the unique madness that the dialogue gave me just hit child me fucking perfectly. It got me at the right time, and they are just Nosferatu, Malkavian, Brugia. Those are the clans that I just love the most. And while I identify most with the Brugia, Malkavians win by just being fucking bug nuts. It's a quiet, moody internet cafe. Half of its space serves as a comfy coffee bar these days, but behind a glass wall it still has a space dedicated to rows of personal computers. On the street, you can notice tired adults in casual clothes typing away absent-mindedly on some bored kids wasting hours on colorful mind games. Sophie's intel is to believe this is where Hope has set up her haven. One of the waiters is standing outside the building, this guy with a smartphone in one hand and a vape pen in the other. You approach the man and tell him, "I'm looking for Hope." He releases a soft chuckle. "Yeah, you and me both." The man slowly takes a drag from his vape, buzzing you up and down in silence. For a long, awkward moment when you're ready to leave him be, his voice again. "Come on, right this way." He heads back into the cafe and you follow his lead. You make your way through the space with computers. No one averts their gaze from spreadsheets, emails, Facebook, or Fortnite. It's a common sight, one you wouldn't have paid much attention to a few weeks ago, but now it seems so unnervingly quaint. Why would they still be spending like this? Would they be doing it if they were immortal? The waiter unlocks an unassuming door at the end of the room and lets you in. You two swiftly make your way through a labyrinth of sterile gray corridors, taking twists and turns. Feels like you're traveling in Rome, crossing the line. Eventually, you reach your destination. Your guide motions you to enter a dark room, lone source of pale light. A computer screen in the distance beckoning. As you do, Hear the door shut behind you. Chuckle. And is this the place? Nothing else to do but sit in front of a computer. The tissues next to the computer makes... Ew, gross. The monitor displays a modern chat application. Discord, presumably. The cursor is blinking in the user nickname entry field in the middle of the screen. Obviously expecting a brief consideration, you type in something goofy. Maybe it's your newfound sensibilities going haywire, but this place has a barely noticeable sleazy aura. May as well go along with it. You input Porno's collector and push the enter button. After a few seconds, the chat window opens and messages start appearing on screen in succession. Hostage executioner! Oh god, this is a fucking... Okay, hold on. Okay, so I just jumped in the middle of a rapid Discord thing. They're wondering who I am, and they're threatening to ban me. The chat goes dead. Everyone waits for you to say something before proceeding. This must be a close-knit group. Or say something before they kick you out. I'm looking for help. Who the fuck are you? Oh god, these are fucking... Jesus Christ. It's just a Discord chat. Can I use presents? Ancient powers start coursing through your veins, fingers tapping keyboard buttons on their own. You will obey me. Oh, that's a dumb idea. Fucking dumbass. Oh, that's so funny. Of course a neo-lib is telling me to die. You've come to the wrong chat room, motherfucker! Last words. Your chat room sucks ass. Hey, that's rude. But gotta laugh at me. Don't struggle or break your windpipe. My phone, whichever would end even worse for you. Sounds of a camera shutter and light flashing. Did she just take a selfie with you? Alright, that's enough fun. I'm letting you go. Talk. Don't do anything stupid, Mr. Intruder. Clarity, please. The mysterious assailant loosens their grip on you and gently pushes you away. You turn to take a good look at them. Oh, damn. It's a pale blonde woman in her 20s, giving you slightly judgmental looks while rapidly tapping away at her phone. First, you notice her outrageous outfit, seemingly thrown together from random thrift store finds. Then, you take note of her tattoos, a sprawling tapestry of odd patterns and designs covering every part of her. First glance, it seems aimless, but it has a sense of style upon closer inspection. Her eyes focus on you for a second. Gave you a scare, huh? Sorry, that's what you get for entering a lady's haven without her permission. And she's back to her phone. Her relatively small build, it's hard to believe you ever had trouble overpowering. Then again, nothing is what it seems when it comes to the undead. Even compared to vampires you've met so far, she's eccentric, curious.
Come on a minute, since you're yelling at me.
She shoots you another glance, noticing you're still cautious of her.
Calm yourself, man. I won't pull anything like this anymore. It's just, stupid things out loud. Vibe check.
Vibe check.
Yeah, I got a glimpse of your vibe on the internet and in a dangerous situation. I'd say got a pretty good idea about who you really are. I'm Hope, by the way. If you're here, you probably heard of me, so I went ahead and skipped the pleasantries, but come to think of it, I might have skipped too many of those.
Yeah, she definitely fits the description you were given by Sophie.
Still can't believe you got so mad online. You actually tried to use your powers on people talking trash about you? Who knows where? Jesus. Yeah, I kinda respect the dedication. It's amusing. Chat room sucks ass is funny, so there's that. Unless you really meant it. In which case, hey, fuck you. Oh yeah, credit where it's due, you're probably not a boring person online going chosen hand. Believe it or not, among bloodsuckers, it's still rare as hell. We're still clueless baby boomers when it comes to internet stuff.
Don't keep those thoughts to yourself. I will keep those thoughts to myself.
Anyway, don't worry about the chat. It's all a game to us. No hard feelings, okay? I'll introduce you properly later.
On the monitor, chatter continues normally. This was like yesterday's news, no longer relevant.
But, look. If we're gonna talk about you, you should have something to say, too. What are you doing here?
About time, she asked. Note to self, she really loves the sound of her own voice.
Do I want to just say, hey, my mommy sent me, or
I'm looking to build a group of people who I can rely on, or look, man, I fucking need help getting to understand this vampire shit. I need help, man. She gives you a pitiful look.
why? Too bad I think therapy is a scam.
Hey, excuse you, Vampire Therapist is a wonderful game. She gets too close for comfort to give you a closer look. After a few seconds, some kind of realization dawns on her face and she points her finger at you.
Wait, shit! You the new Langley plaything?
Word seems to be getting around fast.
Of course you are. It was obvious the second Langley got her hands on a new servant she'd start building. Your emissions.
Hey, don't you talk about my emissions. Excuse you.
That could come really in handy. Langley, that's a risky game. That kind of ambition attracts too much attention. Piss off. Again, fuck Kara.
She seems to be having a spirited argument with herself. Only parts of it are audible. Is it just you, or do her facial expressions and body language change between one sentence and the other? Before you make certain if it's just your eyes playing tricks on you, she focuses half of her attention back on you. The other half, of course, on her phone.
Listen, I'm not saying I'm interested in, cooperation. But before I make a decision, I need to make sure you sort of understand me, and I sort of understand you. Since I was planning to put on a show before you came here.
Am I getting involved in a cam show? Hope absentmindedly spins her phone in her hand, considering how to put her thoughts into word. Then she approaches a switch on the wall and flicks it. Neon lights flare, illuminating the room. You take a look around. The room is certainly unique. It looks like a butcher's room, repurposed to be a living space. The modern computer in front of you starkly contrasts the ominous industrial walls. At the back, there's an overwrought bed covered in velvet with meat hooks hanging above it. On top of the bed sheets, You notice what seemed to be pieces of elaborate S&M equipment and a camera. Wait a minute. You want my help? Moderate my Let me just take a screenshot here and send that to Sean. Actually, I'm also going to put this in the Discord. Cam show! This is not the kind of a request you expected to hear. She notices your confusion. Take it or leave it, buddy. You just became a kindred, but you want to become my partner in crime. Show me you can handle yourself while watching my back in an everyday environment. She's serious. Show starts in 10 minutes. Think yourself better than this? Walk the fuck out. Won't hold a grudge. I've got better things to do. As if to prove it, she looks at something displayed on her phone and cracks a brief grin. Another reply tapped down with an absurd speed. 9 minutes. It's now or never. Show moderator. Risk of violating the masquerade. Hi. Content warnings. Oh yes. So, you take the job. Can I save? Okay, it's save and exit. I might have to do that if I don't. Okay, I checked. This game doesn't have any nudity listed. Just in case, however, I might have to like speed quit the fucking game. Why the fuck not? Hope brightens up, and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Alright. Promise you find this interesting in more ways than one. Alright, give me a sec. Spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, and then urges you to sit down. The explanation of a moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anyone who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who causes trouble. 5 minutes later, she's online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It is a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full force. How are you all doing tonight, hopefuls? You peek at the chat. Yep. That's fine. You're tempted to try the kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously you won't punish someone for a little dirty talk. Thank you! Tonight's show is quite spectacular. Please welcome our new moderator, Pornos Collector. Oh mayo, oh mayo, oh mayo, oh mayo. It's a fucking Discord hazing ritual, fuck yeah. Alright, let's start this one off with a bang, shall we? So this is where the strip show starts. You raise her head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera, immediately violating the masquerade. Raises her left wrist for everyone to see, and then bites. The fangs immediately turn her arm into a horrifying, gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no human can cause such damage. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear too. It doesn't. Oops, technically a corpse, so it's impossible. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing vitae all over her hand to maximize the impact of the violent image. Then starts drinking it up. Makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on a corpse. Contrast of her behavior with her look as of an Instagram model is stunning. Once she's done, feels her wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right hand.
begins to mend.
Shortly thereafter, the wound is gone. It's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing bad ever happened.
Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show.
While you're wondering what the fuck is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns in your direction.
How's that for an opening?
I thought this was gonna be a sex show, honestly. You can't even getting naked in front of you or something? I mean, we just met each other. I love Hope. I love Hope. She's my favorite already. Chat is going wild.
But eroticism is not the key here. It's vampirism. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes with beautiful women committing gory harakiri. Those are an inspiration.
She bares her fangs again in a devious grin.
But I have no interest in auto-destruction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. The audience comes here to marvel at a beautiful vampire in her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of those. The people watching can pay to see more. Oh, don't worry. The only things the audience can see in here are the things I allow them to. We can talk freely. Just remember to moderate the chat, will you?
Welcome, welcome, Dr. Anime. You caught us at an interesting time. I am involved in a very interesting vampire exhibition. I risk violating the masquerade. What a joke. He's blatantly breaching in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. Yeah, that's pretty common. Chat. Yeah. You let the guy fucking faceplant into the keyboard. That's keyboard mashing's common. I get it, I've been on Tumblr. Special message appears on the chat log claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hope smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath the bed. It's been retrieved from a blood bank. Showcases the label to the camera for everyone to see. Hope pours all the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood, but wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with something that's easy to feel.
Don't worry, pays well enough.
You don't even bother to tell her this isn't what you're thinking about. Safe to assume she knows.
So what do you know about Kindred and the internet?
We're not supposed to be on the internet, for one. While she's waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start a conversation. Not a damn thing.
Now, sense not the first thing you teach to a fledgling. Some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own information hubs, social networks, and then, one day, the NSA got in. Turns out the elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. Then, of course, all the other three-lettered intelligence agencies in the world got the intel. A lot of them decided bloodsuckers were the perfect new enemies for post-9/11 times. The Second Inquisition came into being. Heard of it? A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. And now the remains of our old networks serve as government honeypots, kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. Post a certain keyword on Twitter or Facebook, you tag for investigation, You fit certain patterns, you get tagged for investigation. So, there's a certain, well, becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the party.
Stretches on the bed.
I hope you're still monitoring Chet.
Of course not. You're not as good at dividing your attention as she is. Correct your mistake. Check the recent messages. Yeah, ban the asshole with the offensive nickname.
Anyway, yeah. When the Nosferatu admitted to Camarilla their network got compromised, the elders went batshit. Internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, that tracks.
A lot of people who use social media to secretly contact their mortal families and lovers got offed. Goes without saying. If you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could result in being violent death.
Thanks to user Dick Steele, the next goal has gotten successfully funded. She raises her hand, 3 fingers up, 2 fingers up, 1 finger up. The countdown ends and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates that nobody's there. When you deeply focus on the digital image, you swear you can make out some unusual glitching where her silhouette should be. That could just be placebo.
Ready for this? 3, 2, 1.
A flash of the camera. The instant she reappears on the screen, she takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. The chat room explodes in cheers again. She is their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to the screen. This is the fantasy everyone's here for? Girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing her social media. You realize you're way out of your depth here. Meanwhile, well, toots do. Hope decides to continue her lecture.
Those were some wild times, especially in New York. While most of them has no clue to our real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats. Since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present here. Easy PR victims. The last SI raid was second Inquisition raid here was just a few years ago, and it was a big one. Stirred up the hornet's nest something fierce. Although it is 2019, it's 2024, excuse me, Hope. NYC is ruled by someone who got embraced before World War fucking II. And the cam as a whole got really spooked and swore off the internet. Of course, they're not dumb, and they understand that you can't really coexist with modern kind without the internet. It's a gray zone right now, like piracy. Technically frowned on, but the one without sin cast the first stone. The SI is a real threat, no joke. In many senses, the darkest place is right under the king.
You take another look at the screen. A familiar nickname pops up.
You're gonna let this guy shit up the chat? Oh.
Apparently I was supposed to... Alright, whatever.
Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. Sweat and pee if we exert ourselves really hard. Some of us can even orgasm, can even cry, but only tears of blood. Something I always dreamed of doing when I was 14. So romantic. Drives them crazy.
As proof of her words, a scarlet tear runs down her face. The chat goes wild. Seems to be the exact thing they've been waiting for. And ban Fuckman.
Just to be clear, you realize what we're doing here is a blatant breach of the masquerade, right?
Honestly, I expect you to leave or inform somebody by now, but you haven't, have you? Ass Kiss needs a ban. Alright. Good job. In any case, Dylan, you're a tank at streaming. It has only been nearly 4 hours. It's fine. I can talk all day.
In any case,
Last goal has just been funded.
time for the great finale. This is all what you've been waiting for, right?
Her voice has changed. She gets closer to the camera, letting her face fill the frame of the live feed. Her mesmerizing eyes are focused purely on the viewers.
Wanted blood? Come out into the streets. Claw your neighbors' throats. Slash their veins and drink up.
Hope's presence has become absolutely horrifying. It influences chat in some incomprehensible way. Everyone starts typing like they're possessed.
Liberate yourselves from the shackles of ordinary morality. Make them scream. Feel the warmth of their entrails.
What the hell is she doing to these people? What have you gotten yourself into?
Transcend your bodies. Release the message of hope into the world.
He jerks it violently for a second, then falls to the bed like a marionette that just had its strings severed. She exhales loudly. Laughs. When she does, the room goes dark again.
Alright. That's enough.
Instead of continuing, she does something with her phone. Stream ends, chat dies. You take over. The atmosphere in the room has completely changed. She's already put herself together and stood up, walking towards you. At Vulgar, what the fuck just happened? You've caught glimpses of her acting this way, but only now have you started to figure it out. Wait.
I'm immortal, I'm bored, I'm separated from most vampires in the city by a generational chasm. I'm so goddamn lonely. The internet used to be my only friend, so I have taken every single person in chat that's just...
You have any thoughts so far on that dynamic duo show that James Gunn announced? I have not heard of it. I will look it up real quick. Let's take a look-see. It's about Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Okay, so Jason being involved is a little weird. Puppetry? CG. Okay, I need to fully read that article later. What the fuck? So it's going to be CGI, puppetry, and Jason Todd and Dick Grayson. However, since it is a living Jason Todd at this point, it is either pre-Death in the Family or post. Oh god, what was the one where he came back? Was it Hush? Was Hush when he was revealed as being back? I think it was Hush. No, it wasn't Hush. Shit. Death of the Family? I can't fucking remember when they reintroduced Jason Todd. But Either way, it has Dick Grayson in it, and since it has Dick Grayson in it, I will give it a try, because I love Dick Grayson. Nightwing is just my favorite DC character. Years ago, I started researching tulpas, collective unconsciousness, all the mumbo-jumbo at the intersection of psychology and spirituality. I decided to experiment. They're all her magical friends. It all was fake. A few years later, I was an Instagram fashionista, a successful model, a vital part of pop culture commentariat, a viral shit poster, a crypto expert. All my internet selves started signal boosting each other, paving the way for new ones. I became a one-woman empire, surrounded by elite psychopaths. Some may think of it as DID, but that's bullshit. Everyone has online alter egos they buried. Just resurrected them, gave birth to new ones, and let them breed. I don't even have a self that can dissociate or be mentally ill. I'm a host, a living database. I live because I find it fun to be an information conduit. To process trends and support the ones I deem right. There was no masquerade. She was fucking Malk David Chapman. Of course, you can just ignore what I'm saying and decide I'm another deranged Malkavian, but hey, annihilation of the self is the only way to survive in the 21st century. Hope I love you. Android of Notre Dame. If there was ever an era that demanded images of beautiful people transcending beyond humanity and inspiring others to do the same, it's this one. Although, for now, because of the masquerade, my audience is quite limited. Speaking of, you want to be the star of my next movie? Sure, fuck it. Why not? I have a hunch you're just saying that. Still, hey, in a way, this too is transcending beyond self. Yeah, the test is over. Now the question is, do I want to work? I guess I can give it a shot. Yeah, you're not that dumb, not that boring. You're kind of cute. Oh, I need to do my Duolingo real fucking quick. Hold on. I'm gonna mute myself while I resolve that. Alright, fantastic. That was a quick one to take care of. They're doing Brave and the Bold for their first Batman. Interesting one to go with. Alright, a bit more campy. But Brave and the Bold's fun. Don't worry. No more modding jobs. Mods get attached. That's always bad news. She grabs your arm and starts leading you out of her room. I put you through enough shit. Next time I'll let you in on a little job I'm doing. We'll hit the streets, and you'll see why Sophie told you to contact me. It leads you through a labyrinth of gray corridors. It's a different one than the one you made your way through. Unconscious diagram of psychic event. The city is so much more than what its elites consider real. Stick with me. I'll guide you to places Camarilla elders couldn't reach in 100 years. Leads you out of the building, and the back alleys. Even if someone else rules the streets, we will rule the information highways. This is the power of hope. She lets out a theatrical laugh and disappears. You don't even notice when she leaves you alone, but you have to assume everything went as well as it could. A new ally, the power of hope. As you walk off into the night, everything around you feels a little less tangible than it did a few hours ago. Alright. I have been streaming for over 4 hours now, and we have just met a character that will be impossible for them to beat. So, with that, I am actually going to call it for the evening. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Hopefully I can have another one of these. I'm hoping next week. The schedule for me to do them is a little bit more varied, but Sean's probably going to be streaming later this week if he starts feeling a lot better. If he's not, I'll make sure I make the time to do so. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Hold on, can I? How do I? There we go. Okay, now have a fantastic rest of your day.